Chapter 581. Seeing this sudden situation, the people on the street quickly moved away from them. Xiao Meng stood in front of Sima Yue and said, Yu, don't be afraid. I'll protect you. Sima Yue looked at the small figure in front of her and smiled. Okay. These people looked ferocious at first glance. When they came over, they even kicked away the people in front of them. Although these people were also from the devil race, they were just ordinary people who lived ordinary lives. In the past, she was a little prejudiced against the demons, but that was because most of them were vicious and cruel. Now that he had come to the devil realm and seen their lives with his own eyes, he realized that they were actually similar to the human realm. There were ordinary people and ordinary lives. The ferocious ones were only a minority. Who are you? Why are you stopping us? Little Dream looked at those people and did not panic. Our young master wants to invite her as a guest. One of the yellow-haired monkeys said. Sima Yue looked at him. She seemed to have seen him in the inn before. Who is your young master? We don't know him. We won't go. Xiao Meng directly refused. This is a place where you can't go just because you want to. Don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Seeing that Xiao Meng didn't buy it, the yellow-haired man lost his patience and directly threatened. The guards surrounding them moved in unison, indicating their presence. If he didn't obediently follow them, they would directly take action. Xiao Meng glanced at them coldly and shouted, Scram! Men, escort them back to the young master. The yellow-haired man shouted, and the others rushed towards them. Little Dream coldly snorted and waved her hand at those people. Those people all flew out. Emo, Demon King. The yellow-haired man crawled up from the ground and looked at Xiao Meng in horror. Such a small child was actually the Demon King. Scram! Xiao Meng knew that Sima Yue didn't want to cause too much trouble, so she didn't kill them directly. This time, those people ran away scared witless, not daring to look back. Sima Yue saw that the others were pointing at them and whispering to Xiao Meng, telling her to return. Although Xiao Meng liked crowds, she didn't want to be stared at like that. Thus, she pulled her hand and returned to the inn. However, this matter wasn't so easily. At night, Sima Yue saw Xiao Meng who sneaked out and shook her head helplessly. Very quickly Little Dream came back. When she saw Yu lying on the bed and looking at her, she ran over with a smile. Yu, Sima Yue SS Xiao Meng. Yue Xiao Meng. Yu SS Xiao Yue Meng. Meng Xiao Meng. Meng Zhao's Meng Mengs. Dream of the of Meng B. Of Meng Yun. Of Mengt. Sima Yue saw that Meng's words were light, but those who were trapped in the nightmare were definitely suffering. Because Xiao Meng was very protective of her, Xiao Meng would definitely let those people have a taste of their own medicine in their dreams. Oh right, Yu, I heard them talking about you. Xiao Meng said worriedly. What's wrong? I heard that young master wanted to capture you, because you're a pure white devil. You can be pleasured and can help with cultivation. He even wants to give you to some big power. Xiao Meng said. But don't worry, Yu. I'll protect you. Whoever dares to capture you, I'll kill them one by one. If two come, I'll kill two. The pure white race was actually the legendary cauldron. Sima Yue looked at the fur on her hand and her pure white hair. She was speechless and pursed her lips. However, she had no choice. Thousand Resonance was white, so the fur she transformed into could only be white. If she had known earlier, she would have dyed her hair in another color. Now that so many people had seen her, it was too late to dye her hair. She didn't know if this would cause trouble for Mo Sha. Thinking of this, she sighed. It was fine if Xiao Meng didn't remember the past, but this guy clearly knew. Why did he allow her to transform into her current appearance? If she ruined his plans, she wouldn't be responsible for it. However, this guy had been acting mysteriously recently. She didn't know how he was handling his matters. 2 days later, she was reading in her room when Mo Sha sent a message to her, telling her to throw Hua Xiao into his room. She didn't know what he wanted to do, but she still did as she was told. Not long after, Sima Yue saw Mo Sha bring a green-haired man in. When the man saw Sima Yue, his eyes flashed with surprise. However, he didn't have a despicable expression. He was still rather sober. This is Hua Jing. Where's Hua Xiao? Emo Sha asked. This one is Hua Jing, Hua Xiu's older brother. Where is Hua Xiu? Hua Jing saw that there was no one in the room and asked worriedly. Sima Yue saw Emo Sha's expression and knew that the Hua family still remembered the rules of their master and were loyal to the Demon King. Therefore, they were now considered one of their own. Thinking of Hua Xiu, whom she had hidden, she awkwardly opened the cupboard at the side. He's here. Hua Jing saw that Hua Xiu was barely breathing and rushed over. He shook his shoulder and called out, Hua Xiu, wake up. That he was poisoned by me. Without the antidote, he won't wake up. Sima Yue felt her nose itch and reached out to scratch it. Please give me the antidote. Although Hua Jing felt sorry for his younger brother, he didn't dare to be disrespectful. Sima Yue took out a bottle and handed it to Hua Jing. Then she pulled Xiaomeng far away. Emo Sha glanced at her and also retreated backwards. Hua Jing didn't know why they were so far away, but when he opened the lid he understood. This antidote was unusually smelly. Sima Yue saw Hua Jing's furrowed brows and Emo Sha's mocking smile and laughed awkwardly. She had a special obsession with this kind of antidote, which was that it would usually be very smelly. This was because this kind of poison would usually not be used on their own people. As for others, how could they not suffer? Hua Xiu took the antidote and quickly woke up. When he saw Hua Jing, he subconsciously called out, Brother. Since he's already awake, let's hurry and set off. Emo Sha said. Thus, the confused Yu Yue and the confused Hua Xiu followed them and hurriedly left the inn, leaving the city. Not long after they left, the two of them landed in a courtyard somewhere in the city. When they saw the corpses everywhere, their faces turned ugly. Look at these people, they all look like they died in their dreams. One of them said. The other gasped. Died in their dreams? Could it be? Chapter 582. That person said several times, but he didn't finish his sentence. It was obvious how shocking this matter was. Could it be that people from that race have really appeared? How is that possible? They have already been exterminated by several major races. How can they still appear? I hope our guess is wrong. We came here to capture the demon fox. Now that they're all dead, where are we going to find them? Since the demon fox appeared here, there must be someone who has seen it before. Let's go investigate and find out. Demon fox was a general term for the pure white demon race. Then what should we do about this place? Send it back to the family and let them decide. That's the only way. Someone's coming. Let's leave this place first. The two of them then disappeared from where they stood. Not long after, a few more demons arrived. Seeing this situation, he was also quite shocked. He immediately contacted the higher-ups. The innkeeper of the inn that Sima Yue had stayed in previously had been traumatized over the past 2 days. In the past, this was just a small town, and there weren't many important people who came here. However, because of the demon fox who had stayed here, more than 10 groups of people had come to ask for information. Some of them were kinder, while others were more ferocious. Twice, he had almost died in the hands of these people. When this group of people left, the innkeeper felt as if he had just walked through the gates of hell. He immediately decided to close the inn for a year to avoid the limelight. Although there had always been so many people in the devil realm who were rationally breaking the barrier and going to the human realm, none of them gave him such a strange feeling. He had a feeling that the devil realm was about to change from the moment those 3 people stepped into this place. The news of the demon fox's appearance quickly spread throughout the demon realm. It had been tens of thousands of years since a demon fox had appeared. Therefore, other than those who had come to inquire about the news, the others also joined the search for the demon fox. However, ever since the demon fox had left the city, no one had seen her again. At this moment, Sima Yue was standing in front of the ruins, looking at the sorrowful cries of Hua Xiu and his brother. At this moment, she had already changed her attire. The 2 horns on her head had turned into a pair of long ears, and there was a short tail behind her buttocks. The back of her hands was still covered in fur. But with the Hua Xiu brothers' reminder, she painted all her hair black. It took her a few days to make this dye. Since Sima Yue had changed her appearance, Emo Sha and Little Dream had no choice but to change as well. However, since both of them looked the same, it wasn't easy to change. Fortunately, Hua Xiu was an expert in disguise. After a few fiddles, the two of them had changed their appearances. Only after changing their clothes did they appear in front of others again. They rushed towards a branch of the Hua family, wanting to see their family head, because they heard that the family head had come here. However, when they arrived, they discovered that the Hua family had already been exterminated. The house had been burnt to a crisp. As for the fate of their patriarch, it was still unknown. Well, you two brothers, don't be sad. Maybe your patriarch isn't dead? When Sima Yue saw the two brothers grieving over the broken walls, she could not help but think of the time when her grandfather and brothers were taken away. She stood in front of the destroyed general's residence and could not help but comfort them. Who do you have enmity with? Emosha asked. The Zhu family, Hua Jing said. Hearing about the Zhu family, Emosha furrowed his brows. Are they also your former subordinates? Sima Yue asked. They have already defected. Not long after the king died, they followed the current royal family. Hua Xiu said. Not only that, they have been persuading other clans to betray the teachings of their ancestors. Those who are unwilling, they have been suppressing them. Some clans could not withstand their coercion and became the royal family's lackeys. As for those who were unwilling, a portion of them were killed back then. Those who survived all lived in seclusion. Are those people still there? Sima Yue asked. The hidden clans were very powerful back then. The royal family had no way to suppress them, so they were allowed to live in seclusion. After so many years, we are not sure what the hidden clans have become. Hua Jing said. However, as they were all subordinates of the king, I think the patriarch and the others should know. Young master, if you want to find them, you have to find the patriarch. But the devil realm is so big. We don't know if your patriarch was captured here. Even if he was, we don't know where he was taken. Where should we go to find him? Sima Yue said. Also, your branch here has been destroyed. We don't know what your clan's situation is now. Hua Xiu and Hua Xiu were also worried. That's right, this branch had been destroyed. It was very likely that the others had also been destroyed. Emosha did not say anything. He walked into the ruins and formed a seal with both hands. The space around him actually began to distort with his movements, and his figure gradually became transparent. This is. Hua Xiu sucked in a deep breath as he watched the distorted space slowly form into an image. In the image, there was a cruel massacre taking place. After killing people, they set fire to the house and burned the people to ashes. At the end of the image, when they left, the Hua clan's patriarch was also taken away. The image gradually disappeared, and the distorted space returned to normal. Emosha's body once again appeared in the ruins. Did you see it clearly? He looked at Hua Xiu and the others. I saw it clearly. Those people were indeed from the Zhu clan. Hua Xiu said. The one who was taken away in the end was your patriarch? Sima Yue asked. Yes, Hua Jing replied. Looking at what they said at the end, they were going to take the patriarch to Blood Level City. Blood Level City? Sima Yue saw that the two brothers' expressions were not too good. She felt that this matter was more troublesome. Is it very dangerous there? That's where the Zhu clan's main clan is, Hua Jing said. And they also said at the end that they would be meeting with their old friends very soon. This means that the patriarch was not the first to be captured. Why did they capture so many patriarchs? Where did those powers come from? The imperial clan, Emosha said. Sima Yue did not know about those patriarchs, but from Hua Jing's words and their expressions, this matter seemed to be very troublesome. Then should we go to Blood Level City to save their patriarch now? We must save the patriarch, but we must first understand the situation in the clan. We cannot go to Blood Level City so easily. We must be prepared. Hua Jing said. Then let's go to your main clan first. Emosha finished speaking and turned to leave. Sima Yue followed him. There were very few teleportation arrays here. Unlike many cities in the human realm, they could only rely on their flying beasts now. However, they did not go far before they were surrounded by a group of people. Who are you people? Hua Xiu asked. It's not up to you to ask who we are. Hand her over to us. The leader pointed at Sima Yue and said. Chapter 583. Looking for her? Sima Yue blinked her eyes. She had already changed her appearance. Why was he still looking for her? Was it because she was a woman? If it weren't for the fact that she had to retract her light attribute spiritual power and make the illusion ring ineffective, she would have disguised herself as a male demon, no matter how ugly he was. Why are you looking for me? I don't even know you. She saw those disgusting gazes and subconsciously hid behind Emo Sha. Princess Black Jade, I advise you to stop resisting. As long as you're in the devil realm, you won't be able to escape from my master's palms. That person said. Princess Black Jade, what the hell was that? The Black Jade clan is one of the more powerful clans in the demon race. He had the bloodline of the ancient divine beast roar in his body. His strength is also relatively strong. But from the looks of it, the situation doesn't seem too good. Emo Sha knew that Sima Yue didn't understand these things, so he lowered his head and explained to her. Looking at her long ears and her furry hands that were holding onto his clothes, she really did look like someone from the Black Jade clan. Isn't Little Roar's clan a light-type mythological beast? Sima Yue didn't understand. How could light beasts and darkness beasts be related? You'll understand in the future. Emo Sha didn't want to say more. She curled her lips and shouted at those people. I'm not your old Shin princess. You've got the wrong person. Looking like this and speaking the human language, who else could it be but Princess Black Jade? The leader waved his hand. Take them back. Your family? Hua Jing looked at those people and said with a cold face. Your Ji clan actually dared to make a move against the Black Jade clan. Aren't your guts a bit too big? It's not up to others to interfere with what my family wants to do. That person said. Originally, I heard that this Princess Black Jade was alone. I didn't expect you to be together with her. It doesn't matter if you knew each other in the past, or if you've bumped into each other now. Since you've seen this, then I'm sorry. Other than Princess Black Jade, leave no one alive. Yes, the members of the Ji tribe were not weak, but they were no match for Xiaomeng. She moved her body, and Sima Yue saw a black shadow flash before her eyes. All of them fell to the ground. I hate people who have designs on you the most. Little Dream stepped on the last person like a child. Hua Xiao and Hua Jing stared dumbfoundedly at the jumping little person, especially Hua Xiao. His mouth was about to fall to the ground. Xiaomeng. Sima Yue waved at Xiaomeng. Xiaomeng let go of the corpse and returned to Sima Yue's side. You don't worry. Those people won't dare to capture you. Little Dream's thoughts were very simple. The people who captured you were all bad people. Sima Yue had only said one word when Emo Sha's body suddenly moved. His right hand moved in a direction, and a black shadow was sucked over. Emo Sha grabbed it by the throat. Wait a minute! Sima Yue shouted. Emo Sha's tightening hand subconsciously stopped. He glanced at Sima Yue, unhappy that she had interrupted him. We don't know who the other party is. Sima Yue pursed her lips and explained. N. The black shadow grabbed Emo Sha's hand with both hands, trying to pry his hand away. Your Princess Black Jade? Hua Jing sized up the black shadow and said uncertainly. The black shadow bared her teeth at Hua Jing, but she looked too cute, so this action was not scary at all. However, her reaction confirmed that she was indeed Princess Black Jade. Sima Yue looked at her, then looked at herself. Besides the different facial features, they really did look alike. No wonder those people mistook her for Princess Black Jade. Let go of me. Princess Black Jade lifted her leg and kicked at Emo Sha. Emo Sha's eyes darkened. With a toss of his hand, Princess Black Jade was thrown out and smashed onto the ground. Pooh! Princess Black Jade supported herself on the ground and spat out light purple blood. Blue blood. Sima Yue saw Princess Black Jade's blood and walked over curiously. The blood of the demons she had seen before was almost all blue in color, or red like humans. This was the first time she had seen light purple blood. Don't come over, or else I'll die here. None of you will be able to get me. Princess Black Jade took out a dagger and held it to her neck. We just saved you. Sima Yue stopped in her tracks and said, You saw it just now. Those people mistook me for you, so you escaped death. We already discovered you just now. If we handed you over to them, you would have been captured. Princess Black Jade's eyes flashed, but she did not deny this fact. But you want to kill me too? She looked up at Emo Shah. His murderous aura just now was real. If Sima Yue hadn't called out in time, she would have been dead by now. You were injured before. If you don't treat it, it will get worse. Sima Yue saw her like this, and thought that Emo Shah was really ruthless. He didn't have any tender feelings for the fairer sex. I can save you. Princess Black Jade's eyes flashed with surprise. She didn't expect her to say such a thing. Sima Yue took out a bottle of pills and walked over. She took out one and handed it to her. Little Dream ran over and tugged at her clothes. She stared at Princess Black Jade and saw that she didn't move. She said unhappily, You said she can treat your injuries, so she definitely can. If she wanted to kill you, would she need to use such a method? Princess Black Jade hid in the distance and saw Little Dream kill everyone in an instant. She thought that what she said was right, so she took the pill and ate it. This pill was refined by Sima Yue when she was practicing refining pills for Emo Shah. She didn't expect it to come in handy now. Princess Black Jade ate the pill and felt much better. Her gaze towards Sima Yue softened a little. Thank you. No need to thank me. Who asked you to be related to my family's little roar? Sima Yue saw the two long ears on Princess Black Jade's head. They really resembled little roar. She couldn't help but reach out to touch them. Princess Black Jade was shocked. She stared at Sima Yue and subconsciously wanted to slap her. Fortunately, Little Dream was quick enough to grab hold of her. You don't know what's good for you. Yu saved you, but you still want to hit her. Little Dream's eyes were filled with hostility. Cough cough. You must have violated the Black Jade clan's taboo. Hua Jing explained from the side. What taboo? Sima Yue didn't understand. Touching her ears was a taboo. In the Black Jade clan, you can't casually touch other people's ears. Hua Jing said. If your ears are touched by a man, it means that he wants to marry her. But I'm a girl. If it's a girl, it means that the girl wants to play with her. Sima Yue's face was filled with black lines. She felt as if a crow was flying behind her head. Chapter 584. He didn't expect that touching the ears of the Black Jade clan would cause such a reaction. No wonder they were so angry. This slap was considered light. If she hadn't seen that she had saved her just now, she probably would have killed her. Although he might not be able to kill her. I'm sorry, I didn't know about this rule. Sima Yue apologized. It's not your fault if you don't know. Just pretend that I didn't touch you. Princess Black Jade looked at her and saw the apologetic look in her eyes. She knew that she hadn't done it on purpose. Although she wasn't angry at her, she still felt very uncomfortable. Sima Yue glanced at Little Dream. Little Dream let go of Princess Black Jade's hand, but she still looked at her warily, afraid that she would hurt Yue again. Huaxiao walked over and looked at Princess Black Jade, who was sitting on the ground, and Yue, who was squatting beside her. He said, You two really do look a little alike. Sima Yue tugged at her ears. She was frustrated that no matter how she dressed up, she would always attract trouble. It seemed like she had to change her appearance again. Could it be that he really had to change it into that ugly appearance? She couldn't help but shudder when she thought of the ugly demons she had seen along the way. You don't need to change it. It's the way it is. Emo Shah said. Sima Yue turned around and glanced at him. Didn't this guy hide their previous relationship? How did he know what she was thinking? What's your name? Huaxiao asked Princess Black Jade. Ba Jiazi. Princess Black Jade said. Ba Jiazi, are you really the princess of the Black Jade clan? Sima Yue asked. Ba Jiazi nodded. Then why are you here? Huaxiao asked. I was being chased by the Gui race and just happened to escape here. Ba Jiazi said. What about your people? Ba Jiazi shook her head. I was out on a mission this time and was chased on the way back. The guards I brought with me were all killed, and I escaped alone. I don't know if they are targeting me or the Black Jade clan. Can you guys help me? I'll reward you. I'm sorry, we're also in trouble right now. Hua Jing glanced at Emo Shah. Seeing his solemn face, he tactfully declined. When Ba Jiazi heard this, tears immediately welled up in her eyes. However, she didn't continue pleading. Yue couldn't bear to see her drooping ears. Every time Little Roar felt upset, he would always be like this. Well, why don't we help her? She tugged at her ears. We should help her all the way. We may also encounter trouble. Hua Jing said. When the time comes, we may implicate Princess Black Jade. Sima Yue thought about it and agreed. The Hua family was also in trouble now. They had to quickly solve the problem, and let Mo Sha settle things quickly before returning to the primordial lands. After all, they were not demons. The longer they stayed in the demon realm, the more dangerous it would be for them. But was he really going to leave such a cute little person here? When Ba Jiazi saw Sima Yu's hesitation, her ears drooped even lower. Yu, help her. Maybe she will give you a surprise. Little Roar suddenly transmitted to her. Surprise? You're sure it won't be a scare? Sima Yue asked uncertainly. This guy seemed to be unreliable all along. Trust me. Little Roar said with certainty. Although Sima Yue didn't know why Little Roar would say that, she couldn't bear to reject a request from one of her own. Towards Little Roar, the first divine beast to follow her, she had always been tolerant. No matter how much trouble he caused or how much he ate, she always spoiled him. Little Roar said that he wants us to help her. She said to Mo Sha. Hua Jing and Hua Xiao didn't know who Little Roar was, but they noticed that after Yue said this, Mo Sha's expression softened. He hesitated for a moment before nodding. Little Roar had the inheritance of their ancestors, and the Black Jade clan had the bloodline of the Divine Roar. Perhaps Little Roar knew something that they didn't. Alright, don't cry. We promise to help you. Sima Yue reached out to wipe away Ba Jiazi's tears, comforting her. Thank you, Ba Jiazi said gratefully. She could tell that because of Yue, Mo Sha, and the other two were willing to help her. Otherwise, in a place like the Devil Realm, no one would be willing to help her. Alright, let's go, Hua Jing said. We'll talk on the road. This place was too close to the Hua clan's branch. They didn't know if the Zhu clan was nearby, so it was better to leave early. The few of them got on the flying beast and quickly left. Not long after they left, 2 or 3 groups of people came here. However, after looking around, they didn't see anyone, so they left again. Where are we going now? Sima Yue asked. Let's go to the city in front to see the situation first. Mo Sha said. He glanced at Ba Jiazi and said, Dye her. It's too conspicuous. Thus, before they entered the city, the 2 little black rabbits became 2 little red rabbits. Yue, your dye is too realistic. It looks so similar to our Red Jade clan. Ba Jiazi looked at her own red fur. It didn't look like it was dyed at all. The Red Jade clan was different from the Black Jade clan. Although they were both from the Devil Rabbit clan, their bloodlines were too different. People from the Red Jade clan wouldn't notice them when they walked around the Devil Realm. Now that her fur was dyed this color, people wouldn't think of her as the Black Jade clan's princess. You can have any color you want. If one day you get tired of looking at red, we can change to another color. Sima Yue said. No need, no need. This color is the best. Ba Jiazi shook her head. The Red Jade clan's status in the Devil Realm isn't high or low. Those with low status are easily bullied, while those with high status attract too much attention. This is the best. Alright then. When we part, I'll give you some paint. If one day you want to play with it, you can make it yourself. Sima Yue said. Alright. They entered the city, and first accompanied Ba Jiazi to the place where their clan had agreed to mark. They didn't expect that they would really find a message there. They then went to an inn. After entering, Hua Xiao and the others exchanged a secret signal with the innkeeper. The innkeeper then invited them to the backyard. Not long after, a human-shaped old man hurriedly ran in. Young masters, thank the heavens. You're safe. The old man came in and grabbed their hands, saying emotionally, Grandpa Yin, we're fine. It's just that the clan head Hua Xiao said sadly. We already know what happened to the clan head. According to the information we received, the clan head was only captured by them. His life isn't in danger now, Hua Yin said. When we found out that you were also there and weren't captured together, we thought that something bad had happened to you. We weren't there at the time, so we managed to escape, Hua Jing said. After Hua Yin calmed down, he saw Sima Yue and Ba Jiazi. He frowned and said, The Red Jade Clan betrayed the Black Jade Clan. Why are you with them? Chapter 585. Hearing Hua Yan's words, everyone was shocked. The Red Jade Clan betrayed the Black Jade Clan? Ba Jiazi cried out. Then how are my grandfather and the others? Hearing her words, Hua Yan frowned strangely. Grandpa Yan, she is the princess of the Black Jade Clan, Ba Jiazi. Hua Jing explained. You are the princess of the Black Jade Clan? Hua Yan looked at Ba Jiazi suspiciously. Grandpa Yan, we saved her along the way. Yue used dye to dye her fur. Hua Xiu said. How are my grandfather and the others? Ba Jiazi asked. Your grandfather has also been captured along with our clan leader. They are now locked up together. Hua Yin said. The other clansmen have also been killed or captured. Also because of the Red Jade Clan's betrayal, the Sea Clan knows how to contact you. Some of the people outside have been contacted and captured. Sima Yue recalled the previous contact signal. She did not expect it to be a fake signal. If Ba Jiazi was alone, she would definitely look for them when she saw the signal. And then she would be caught. The Red Jade Clan. Ba Jiazi clenched her fists, her face filled with anger. To think that my grandfather trusted them so much. I'll go and settle the score with them. If you go now, won't you be playing right into their hands? Sima Yue grabbed her and said, they were looking for you. You went out to look for them, and got caught by them to accompany your grandfather? Ba Jiazi calmed down and said, you're right. I can't panic. I have to think of a way to rescue them. After saying that, she sat to the side to think of a solution. Grandpa Yan, what's going on? I only went there for a few months. How could such a big thing happen? Hua Xiu asked. This is all a secret plan of the Zhu race and the Gui race. I didn't expect that they would secretly collude with the royal family and persuade the Red Jade race to suppress the Hua race and the Black Jade race at lightning speed. If we hadn't received some information before they acted, I'm afraid we would have all been captured. Hua Yin said. Is the Patriarch and the Patriarch of the Black Jade Clan locked up together? The news we received was that they were all locked up in Blood Level City. Hua Yin said. Why did they capture the two clan leaders? Sima Yue asked. Perhaps there is some connection that we don't know about. Hua Xiu said. No matter what, we have to think of a way to save the clan leader and the rest. Since Ba Jiazi is with us, let's go save her. It's best for her to return to the clan first. Hua Yin said. Why? Because not only did the Red Jade Clan betray the Demon Rabbit Clan, but they also plan to rule over the Demon Rabbit Clan. Therefore, the Black Jade Rabbits that were not captured are now in danger. Hua Yin said. Their clan leader is locked up in Blood Level City, so he won't be in danger for the time being. But the same can't be said for those clansmen. But since those people have been captured, there must be many people guarding them. Do we still have enough manpower to rescue them? Hua Jing asked. To be honest, we don't even have enough people to go to Lu Shui City to save people. Hua Yin spoke the truth. But if we can save the Black Jade Clan members, then we will have a better chance of saving the Patriarch and the others. Then are our people confident in saving them? We don't have many people now, and most of them have gone to Blood Level City. We can't rush over to save the Black Jade Clan. Then how can we rely on Ba Jiazi alone to save them? Hua Xiu said. We've already investigated. The Black Jade Clan members who were captured are not strictly guarded. It's just that they are poisoned, so they can't resist. As long as we can find an alchemist to cure them, then there won't be a problem. Hua Yin said. But our clan's alchemist has been captured, so we have to go outside to find one. And it's best if we can find one within 2 or 3 days. 2 or 3 days. Hua Xiu and his brother both cried out. The demon world's alchemists are rare. In such a short time, where are we going to find one? Ba Jiazi's original hope was extinguished by Hua Xiu's words. There were so few alchemists, and they might not even meet one in a few months. Now to find one in 2 or 3 days was easier said than done. Do I really have to watch my clansmen die before my eyes? Then how am I going to face grandfather and the others? Thinking of this, Ba Jiazi couldn't help but cry. Hua Xiu and his brother were also worried. If they could save the Black Jade Clan members, then it would also help them save the Chinese. But they didn't have a way to make an alchemist appear. What rank do you want an alchemist of? Just as everyone was worrying, Sima Yue suddenly asked. As long as they can reach the 5th rank. Hua Yin said. Then maybe I can help. Sima Yue said. Yue, you're an alchemist? Ba Jiazi asked excitedly. I rarely refine your pills, so if you want any pills I have to try. Sima Yue said. But it's a good thing that a 5th ranked pill isn't too high, so it should be fine. You're really an alchemist. Hua Xiu looked at her in disbelief. They walked all the way and didn't find her. But aren't you from the human race? How can you refine the pills we want? What, you're from the human race? Hua Yin and Ba Jiazi were shocked. A human had actually appeared in the devil realm. If the other devil clans knew, then the consequences would be unimaginable. Grandpa Yen, I caught her from the human realm. Hua Xiu said. Sima Yue pursed her lips. If Mo Sha and the others didn't do it on purpose, how could you have caught her? If you're from the human race, then we can't use the pills you refine. To us it's extremely poisonous. Hua Yin said. Ba Jiazi has already eaten the pills I refined. She's fine. Sima Yue said. The pills I ate were refined by you? Ba Jiazi said softly. She felt as if she had just walked through the gates of hell. However, the effects of the pills were not bad. Sima Yue spread out her hands, and the dark spirit energy gathered in her hands. Everything went without saying. Yue, then please save my clansmen. When the time comes, my Devil Rabbit clan will definitely thank you properly. Ba Jiazi grabbed her hand and said. Sima Yue glanced at Mo Sha. Seeing that he had no objections, she nodded at Ba Jiazi. I want to know the pill recipe and the ingredients you need. Sima Yue said. I have the pill recipe and 2 sets of ingredients. They were all entrusted to me by the previous alchemist. Hua Yin took out a pile of ingredients and a black paper. On the black paper the pill recipe was written. Sima Yue took the pills and studied them carefully. Then, she picked up the pills and began to refine them. Ever since she had reached the 6th grade, she had begun to refine pills for Mo Sha. These 5th grade pills were not difficult for her. Moreover, these pills were originally one of the simpler ones among the 5th grade pills. After 2 hours, she succeeded in refining the pills on her first try. The second set of ingredients directly doubled the success rate. Hua Jing and the others were stunned. Chapter 586. Sima Yue's success rate had opened their eyes. Initially, they were very impressed with her. However, what she said at the end made them want to beat her up. Sai, as expected, I'm not familiar with it. That's why the success rate is so low. As soon as she said this, the shocked crowd came back to their senses. Yue, this is only the 2nd time you've refined this pill. Are you still not satisfied with the results? Ba Jiazi simply could not believe her eyes. This was even more amazing than her family's alchemist. She had seen them refine pills dozens of times, but they did not have the same success rate as her. I can only say that it's barely passable. Sima Yue handed the pills over to Hua Yin. This is probably my pill success rate. Towards the end, I'll only be able to make 2 or 3 pills at most. You'll have to prepare the ingredients according to how many pills you need. Also, just because I've succeeded twice doesn't mean that I'll succeed in the future, so you still have to take these into account. Hua Yin took the pill, and was extremely shocked in his heart. Her success rate had already far exceeded his imagination. We'll go and prepare the herbs right away. He took the pills and hurried out. Yu, what are you thinking about? Xiaoming saw Yue frowning in a daze and pulled her hand to ask. Is there a problem with this pill? Ba Jiazi looked at her nervously. Could it really be that there was a problem with the pill? He didn't want to disappoint her, just when she was filled with hope. No, Sima Yue said, the pills are fine. Then your expression. Ba Jiazi patted her chest. She was scared to death just now. I just have some doubts. Sima Yue smiled. What? Mo Sha asked. Senior brother, I feel that it's a bit strange. If I was in the mortal realm, my success rate would be higher, but it's much lower here. Also, I need to spend more effort on both refining and fusing. Sima Yue voiced out her doubts. This is normal. Mo Sha said faintly. The devil realm's alchemy is much worse than the human realm. Are they all like this? Sima Yue was shocked. Seeing Emo Sha nod his head, she wondered if this was also the suppression of the laws of heaven and earth. Talk, talk, talk. There was a knock on the door as the innkeeper came in and said, "Young master, we've just received news that the Black Jade Clan's people have appeared in the city. They've also gone to the Black Jade Clan's contact point and are now rushing to the rendezvous point." Bajazzi stood up and asked, "Really? Do you know who's coming?" "We don't have much contact with the Black Jade Clan, so we don't know those people," the shopkeeper replied. "Call the others. Let's go and have a look." Hua Jing instructed. Then he turned to Emo Sha and Sima Yue and said, "You guys wait here. We should be back soon." Emo Sha didn't want to go in the first place. Sima Yue had just concocted 2 batches of pills consecutively, and her mental strength hadn't recovered yet. After Hua Xiao and the others left, Sima Yue took out 2 drops of soul fluid and consumed them. This is your first time refining pills in the Devil Realm, so you're not familiar with it yet. In order to succeed, you have to spend more energy. You'll get used to it once you refine more. I'll go back and rest first." After Sima Yue left, Emo Sha stayed in the room for a while. Then he formed a seal with both hands. A black moon and a long sword formed a symbol in the air. He pursed his lips and stared at the symbol. His pupils turned blood red. Go dash following his voice. The symbol actually broke free from his control and flew into the air. Soon it disappeared. When the symbol disappeared, he stood up and left the room. After Sima Yue went back, she began to cultivate. After a while, she opened her eyes. The confusion in her eyes deepened. The dark spiritual energy here is actually lower than in the primordial lands. How can it be like this? No wonder Emo Sha said that the conditions here are much worse than in the human realm. The heavenly Dao's rules, what exactly are they? Emperor Qing Dao. Thinking about what happened in the pavilion of passing heaven, she was frightened by a bold thought in her mind. It can't be what I'm thinking. However, the Devil Realm was the Devil Realm. It wasn't her place to worry about it. Therefore, she should wait for Emo Sha to finish his business and return quickly. Sigh, I left just like that. I don't know how Master and the others are now. Would they be worried about me? It's a pity that I can't contact them and tell them that I'm safe. You don't worry. Yulin and the others have your aura. As long as your aura doesn't dissipate, they will know that you're fine. Little Dream said. I'm just afraid that Master and the others won't go find Yulin and the others. They're just worried for nothing. Sima Yue said. However, we were captured and brought to the Devil Realm. It's such a big matter. They should tell grandfather about it. That way, they'll be able to get the news. They definitely will. Little Dream nodded. All right. Sima Yue called Little Roar out, saying, Little Roar, why did you want me to save Bajyazi? Little Roar stretched lazily, saying, The inheritance said that if we meet the Black Jade clan in trouble, we must help them. It will give us an unexpected surprise. The inheritance said that? Sima Yue pursed her lips. Did the inheritance say why it was like this? What kind of surprise would there be? No. Little Roar saw Yue's murderous glare and shrunk his neck. Sima Yue could not help but roll her eyes. She just knew that it would be like this. Scammer. Yu, don't be anxious. Since the inheritance said so, it must be like this. Little Roar nodded his head after he finished speaking, trying to increase the credibility of his words. Sima Yue grabbed the fur on his neck and pulled him in front of her. What I'm more curious about is, why did you only pass on half of the inheritance? No, there must be some secret that you can't tell us. Little Roar explained. Oh. Sima Yue dragged out the last syllable. Little Roar was so scared that his 4 limbs shrunk back. Are you sure that the inheritance process wasn't too painful? So you stopped? Yu. Little Roar wanted to protest. She was underestimating him. However, when he saw Yu's clear eyes, he was defeated. Even his 2 long ears shrunk back. Actually, it's not that I stopped. I just felt that those things weren't too important, so I threw them all into the depths of my mind. You can just say that you're lazy. Sima Yue glared at him. Luckily, the Black Jade clan should be on the same side as the Chinese. If they were on the opposite side, it would be troublesome. Oh right, do you know the origin of your clan and theirs? It seems that one of my ancestors was together with someone from the Devil Rabbit clan. Their descendants would carry a little of our bloodline. However, you should know that we are from the Light clan, and they are from the Dark clan. They lived in the Devil realm, so Roar's bloodline became lesser and lesser, resulting in their current state. Sima Yoyue's eyes lit up. According to what you said, the Black Jade clan also has the light and dark attributes. Chapter 587. Although she had been calm all these years, she had never stopped worrying in her heart. Every time her strength increased a little, her heart would skip a beat. She was afraid that her body would explode one day. If the Black Jade clan also possessed both the darkness and light attributes, then she might be able to get some inspiration to solve her problem. The Black Jade clan has always lived in the Devil realm, so it's not certain if they still have the light attribute. Little Roar said. Sima Yue was no longer angry. She hugged Little Roar and pinched his long ears, saying, "Since they had it before, even if they don't have it now, they must have a way to solve this problem in the past. When the time comes, I'll ask Bajiazi." Yes. Who knows, they might have a good idea. Little Roar agreed. That's why saving someone is still a good thing. This is a blind cat running into a dead mouse. Next time, if you make such an unreliable decision for me, I won't forgive you. Sima Yu threatened. I know. Little Roar originally wanted to quibble, but when he looked up, he saw her round eyes staring at him. That gaze seemed to be saying that if he quibbled, she would definitely not forgive him. Thus, it decided to obediently admit its mistake. In a few dangerous places in the demon realm, a few huge eyes suddenly appeared out of thin air. Those pairs of eyes looked at the symbols slowly forming in the air, and their hazy eyes flashed with surprise. Then, their mountain-like bodies slowly rose from the ground, and their long backs were already covered with plants. A river flowed through the swamp, and a symbol slowly appeared on the surface of the river. The river suddenly split in the middle, and a long giant snake flew out from the river. The riverbed was actually a giant snake. These magical beasts seemed to have heard some kind of summoning. They shook their bodies, and then flashed in the same direction like beams of light. However, the people of the Devil realm were unaware of this matter. They did not know that the situation of the world was about to change drastically. Bajiazi and the others hadn't returned yet. So Mo Sha came to find Sima Yue and asked her to wait for Hua Xiao and the others while he went out. When Sima Yue saw that he did not intend to let her follow him, she knew that the distance was not far. She was thinking about the Black Jade clan, so she nodded to show that she understood and did not ask what he was going to do. Not long after Mo Sha left, Bajiazi and the others returned. Along with them were two humanoid Black Jade clan members. Bajiazi, I have something to ask you. Sima Yue called out to Bajiazi as soon as she saw her. Bajiazi had just saved two of her clansmen and was somewhat happy. She ran over and asked, What do you want to ask? Sima Yue looked at Hua Xiao and the others before pulling Bajiazi into her room. Bajiazi was very curious about her mysterious behavior. What's wrong? Bajiazi asked. I heard that you have the bloodline of the ancient divine beast god Roar. Is that true? Sima Yue asked. Bajiazi nodded and said, That's right. It's because we have the bloodline of ancient divine beasts that our status in the Devil Rabbit clan is the highest. What's wrong? The divine Roar is a light attribute spirit beast. You guys are magic beasts. Does that mean you guys have both the light attribute and the dark attribute? Yes. Our clansmen are born with two attributes. Bajiazi didn't intend to hide anything from her savior. Moreover, this wasn't considered a secret in the devil world. Then how do you deal with these two attributes? Sima Yue asked. I don't know either. These are all dealt with when the clansmen are born. Bajiazi said. You know that there are very few light attributes here. That's why we give up the light attribute when we are born and keep the dark attribute in our bodies. So you guys only have one attribute in your bodies now? Sima Yue was a little disappointed. If they chose to give up one attribute when they were born, she didn't know if it would be useful to her. Yes, Bajiazi said. I know that you definitely have the dark and light attributes in your body. However, I don't know how to do it. Only the clan's executive elder and my grandfather know. Once we save my grandfather, I will ask him to help you think of a way. All right, thank you, Sima Yue replied. Although she didn't know if this method would be useful to her, it was still a kind of hope. What are you thanking me for? You saved my life. I haven't even had the chance to thank you yet. Moreover, you refined the antidote for my clansmen. This is a huge favor to our entire clan. I don't even know how to repay you. If this method is useful to you, then it would be the best, Ba Jiazi said with a smile. Sima Yue looked at Ba Jiazi's sincere expression and sighed in her heart. Who said that the Devil Clan's people were all cruel by nature? Weren't people like Little Dream and Ba Jiazi pure and kind? That night, Hua Yin sent the required ingredients over. After that, she went into seclusion in her room to refine pills while Ba Jiazi and Hua Xiu went out from time to time to bring people back. When she finished refining the pills, Hua Xiu and the rest were already prepared to set out to save the Black Jade clan. Where's my senior brother? He's not back yet? Sima Yue looked around but didn't see Mo Sha's figure. Not yet. You don't know where he went? Hua Xiu asked. I didn't ask. Everyone looked at her speechlessly. Weren't they fellow disciples? Why didn't she ask where he went? At this moment, Mo Sha walked in from outside and said, I'm back. Hua Yin and Hua Jing had the highest status here. Hua Yin already knew that Mo Sha was related to the person they were waiting for. Hence, he was very respectful to him. Seeing that he had returned, Hua Yin ordered them to set out. The Hua clan was also a relatively large force in the Devil Realm. Although the Zhu clan had captured the patriarch and exterminated some branches, a starving camel was still bigger than a horse. They still managed to find a relatively powerful array master, while Yu Yu was refining pills, and set up a temporary teleportation array. During this period of time, Sima Yue carefully looked at the teleportation array. It was similar to the one in the primordial lands, with only a few minor differences. There weren't many people going this time. Most of them were the Black Jade clan members, who had been stopped over the past few days. Sima Yue stood in the teleportation array a little apprehensively, when an overwhelming dizziness enveloped her. She knew that this trip would be very uncomfortable. As expected, once she stepped out of the teleportation array, she vomited everything in her stomach. In her words, she even vomited out her bile. Hua Jing and the rest arranged for her and Mo Sha to stay in an inn. This place was still some distance away from the Black Jade clan. They still needed to rush for 2 days before they could reach. Sima Yue lay on the bed listlessly, her face pale. She remembered that Bei Gong Tang would always come to take care of her at this time. When she heard the door open, she thought that Bei Gong Tang had followed them to the Devil Realm. Chapter 588. Crazy Wife. The fifth miss of the Divine Doctor. Mo Sha carried a tray in, and on it was a light blue porcelain bowl. I made something for you. Mo Sha placed the tray on the table, carried the bowl to the bedside, and helped her up with one hand. Sima Yue looked at the light blue soup in the bowl, and asked weakly, What is this? Something good for you, Mo Sha said as he put the bowl to her lips. Sima Yue drank the bowl of blue soup in his hand, and after drinking it, there was still a faint fragrance in her mouth. Her dizziness seemed to have improved by quite a bit. What is this? She felt a lot more clear-headed and asked again. A concocted medicine, Mo Sha said. You should rest first. After speaking, he took the bowl and left. On the second day, Mo Sha gave her another bowl of red medicine. On the third day, he gave her another bowl of light green medicine. And on the fourth day, it was more normal. It was a bowl of medicine that was like plain water. Sima Yue drank it every time without hesitation. After drinking the fourth bowl, she felt that her body's perception of space was different, as if she was more integrated with space. Taking advantage of this feeling, she closed her eyes and began to comprehend space. Unexpectedly, she made quite a bit of progress. It was as if she was in a spacious room before, and now she had stepped out of that door and arrived at a vast wilderness. After her comprehension of space increased, she found that the space she could control had increased. In the past, it was only a cubic meter, but now it was half the size of a house. Seeing the space she could control, she was shocked. How did it suddenly become so big? She guessed that it was related to the medicine Emosha gave her, and wondered if she could get her hands on it. Later on, she found out that this medicine not only increased her comprehension of space, it also cured her sickness of being dizzy from teleportation arrays. After that, when she used teleportation arrays, she never felt dizzy again. She had just woken up from her comprehension when Emosha knocked on the door. The timing was just right. She opened the door and saw Emosha standing outside. Without waiting for her to speak, he said, "Let's go out for a while." "Where to?" "To help them." Before she could react, Emosha had already turned around and left. She could only close the door and chase after him. Emosha brought her for 2 days and arrived in front of a cave. There were a few corpses of the demon clan at the entrance of the cave. From their figures, it was obvious that they were from the Red Jade clan and the Zoo clan. Emosha walked in front, while Sima Yue held Little Dream's hand and walked behind him. The three of them entered the cave, and before they reached the end, they heard rustling sounds coming from inside. "Who?" A shout came from inside as Hua Xiao and the others ran out. Seeing that it was them, Hua Xiao asked in surprise, "Why are you here? Since you guys haven't been back for so long, we came to see if there's anything we can help with." "What's the situation now?" Sima Yue asked. "The people from the Red Jade clan have been taken care of by us. We've also given them the pills, but now we've run into trouble." Hua Xiao said. "What trouble? Come in and take a look and you'll know." Hua Xiao turned around and went in after he finished speaking. It was only after Sima Yu entered that she understood what kind of problem they were facing. It turned out that the Red Jade clan had found a huge cage from who knows where, and locked all the Black Jade clansmen inside. Now that the cage couldn't be opened, they had no way of getting them out. Seeing Sima Yue and Emosha enter, there were still some doubts in their eyes. Hua Jing said, "This is made from 100,000-year-old black iron. Without a key we can't open it. We've already tried many methods." Sima Yue glanced at Emosha. Could it be that this guy knew from the start that they couldn't open the cage, and let her open the lock? Ba Jiazi was at the side instructing those people to use their spirit energy to attack. But everyone's spirit energy was exhausted, and there was nothing they could do. She was about to cry as she watched from the side. Sima Yue walked over. When Ba Jiazi saw her, she forced a smile. "Why are you here?" "Let me try." Sima Yue looked at the 1-foot-tall lock. There were burn marks, spirit energy marks, and even some prying marks on it. Okay. Ba Jiazi didn't have much hope for Sima Yue, but since she said it, perhaps there really was a way. Sima Yue went over to look at the lock, and used her own flame to test it. After 2 minutes, the lock still didn't budge. The people outside the cage saw a stranger, and thought that there was hope. They didn't expect the result to be the same. "Yue, normal flames are useless against this," Ba Jiazi said. "That's true." Sima Yue kept her own flame, and immediately changed it to Qi Yan's. When the flame came out, the temperature in the entire cave suddenly rose. Everyone was terrified of this flame. "Yue, what kind of flame is this?" Ba Jiazi subconsciously took a step back, and looked at the flame in her hand in horror. "It's my contracted beasts," Sima Yue said. She threw the flame over, but the flame only managed to wrap around the top of the lock. She looked at the slowly shrinking lock and lamented that it was too slow. If she had a little more flame, the speed would be much faster. However, her flame was the bane of the dark race. She only used a little bit, and everyone in the cave was already trembling in fear. If she used a little more, these people wouldn't be able to handle it. Fortunately, she didn't need to refine the entire lock. She only needed to burn the chain on the lock. It really worked. The people from the Black Jade clan saw that the lock was slowly shrinking, and their eyes were filled with hope. Hua Xiao looked at her flame, and couldn't help but shiver. If she had used this flame to burn him when he caught her, he would have been burned to ashes. Time slowly passed. After more than an hour, the chain was burned. Sima Yue put away the flame, and the temperature in the room returned to normal. "All right. Everyone come out quickly." Little black rabbits came out of the cages, The poison in their bodies had been cured, and they were now full of energy. Princess, the Red Jade clan actually dared to betray us and collude with the Ji clan. We must eliminate them all. A Black Jade clan elder said. Yes, Princess, we must find the Red Jade clan for revenge. Everyone, please calm down. The Red Jade clan betrayed the Devil Rabbit clan. We will definitely not let them go. However, we have more important things to do now. Ba Jiazi comforted them. Grandfather and the others were captured by the Ji clan and are now imprisoned in Blood Level City. Not only that, they also captured the Chinese clan leader and maybe the other clan leaders. Our top priority now is to find a way to save Grandfather and the others. As for the Red Jade clan, we must make them pay the price for this matter. Chapter 589. After that, Sima Yu became a bystander again. She followed behind the Black Jade clansmen and watched as they took control of the Red Jade clansmen on their territory. They saved the remaining people and discussed how to rescue the captured clan leader. Then, everyone went to the vicinity of Blood Level City. Mo Sha said he wanted to go with her because they didn't have much time left in the Devil Realm. Thus, she put on a heroic expression and stepped onto the transportation array. But when she was teleported away, she realized something was different. She was no longer dizzy. When she arrived at her destination, she was still in a daze. Was she really not sick of teleportation arrays anymore? Why did it feel so unreal? Everyone had left, but she was still standing there in a daze. Mo Sha sighed in his heart and reached out to tap her forehead, saying, "Let's go." Sima Yue reached out to cover the place where she was hit. Seeing the teasing look in his eyes, she thought of the few bowls of medicine he gave her and said, "Is it because of the thing you gave me? So stupid." Mo Sha glanced at him, then turned and left. What an idiot, only realizing it now. He despised her inwardly. However, he couldn't help but smile when he saw the joy on her face because she didn't get sick. Sima Yu pursed her lips at his back, then followed him with large strides. It was great that he didn't feel dizzy using the teleportation array anymore. When she got back, she wanted to get that method and give it to Feng Er to use, so that he wouldn't get dizzy in the teleportation array. The people of the Black Jade clan took them to the mountain range near Lushui City. From the mountain peaks here, they could see Lushui City. While Mo Sha was discussing with Hua Jing and the others how to rescue those who had been captured, she stood at the side in a daze. She really couldn't understand what they were talking about in such a short time, unlike Mo Sha, who was able to analyze the current situation very well after listening to Hua Jing and the others. She looked up at the gray sky, as if there was no blue sky and white clouds here. She couldn't see the sun all day, and she didn't know how the green plants grew. She was bored out of her wits. Seeing that they were still in the middle of their discussion, and that a few more strangers had arrived, she quietly left the mountain. Mo Sha sensed her departure and glanced in her direction before continuing his discussion with them. Unknowingly, she had left the mountain far behind. "Kacha!" A crisp voice rang out. She looked around, but didn't see anyone. "Kacha! Kacha!" A few sounds were heard, but there was no movement at all. She called Xiao Meng out, and the two of them followed the direction of the voice. "Kacha!" As if sensing that someone was approaching, the voice disappeared. "That sound just now sounded like the sound of eating," Little Dream said. "I think so too, but there's no one here." They looked around, but didn't find anything out of the ordinary. Leaning against a huge flower, they sat down. Yu, this place is strangely quiet," Little Dream said. "It's as if there's no life nearby." "It is indeed a little strange." Sima Yue closed her eyes and sensed her surroundings. She did not find anything out of the ordinary. There were only trees and flowers around her. Moreover, there were large patches of flowers. It seemed that there were no other plants around except for these flowers. Since they didn't find anything, the two of them chatted casually under the flowers. When they weren't paying attention, a flower bud slowly rose not far away and approached the two of them. When it got close to them, it suddenly bloomed, revealing rows of sharp teeth in the stamen. Then, it fiercely pounced on the two of them, wanting to suck them into its mouth. Bang! Little Dream used her spiritual energy to open the flower. The two of them left the flower they were leaning against and came to an open space, looking at the dancing flowers in the air. There must be a demon when things are out of the ordinary. This place is so quiet. There must be a demon. Sima Yue sneered. I didn't expect to meet a man-eating flower here. You didn't fall for it at all. The flower didn't even have a mouth. They didn't know where the voice came from. Sima Yue smiled. You purposely made a sound to lure us here. Then, you wanted to eat us when we let our guard down. Unfortunately, it's too quiet here. There's no movement at all. How would we dare to let our guard down? Even if you didn't fall for it, the result would still be the same. It's just that it's a little more troublesome for me. After the man-eating flower finished speaking, the surrounding flowers moved. The flower branches extended endlessly and attacked them. Little Dream took care of one flower with a punch. Every flower was shattered by her. A small man-eating flower dares to talk nonsense. Little Dream stopped in the air and sneered. Sima Yue was not used to Little Dream's domineering words, especially when the flower was taller than her. She didn't seem to have any power at all. However, the man-eating flower understood how powerful she was. I didn't expect there to be such a young demon king. If normal man-eating flowers are useless against you, it doesn't mean that I'm afraid of you. The man-eating flower said fearlessly. All the surrounding flowers moved. It just so happened that there was only one man-eating flower in the valley. It's actually the man-eating flower king. This time, even Little Dream's expression changed. The man-eating flower king and the man-eating flower seemed to have the same strength. However, the man-eating flower king had endless life. It could quickly grow branches and bloom new flowers. As long as its main parts and roots were not destroyed, it was equivalent to an immortal life form. Moreover, each of its flowers had strength. It wasn't like normal man-eating flowers. Only a few flowers had attack power. Although Little Dream was strong, she couldn't withstand the hundreds and thousands of flowers. Little Dream, come down. Sima Yue shouted when she saw the man-eating flower attacking Little Dream. Little Dream wanted to come down, but she was blocked by the man-eating flowers coming from all directions. She couldn't move at all. Ha ha ha, so what if you're the Demon King? You'll still be eaten by me. The man-eating flower king laughed and opened its mouth to swallow her. Poochie! A bunch of flames burned the flower that was holding Little Dream. Then, the flames followed the flower branches and burned the other flowers as well. Little Dream took the chance to fly to Sima Yue's side. Ah! Ah! The man-eating flower king's flower branches danced in the air after being ignited. It was close to the other flowers and ignited the others. Normal flames are useless against me. Ah! What kind of flame is this? The man-eating flower king screamed. Its voice was filled with deep fear. Naturally, it's a flame that can burn you to ashes. Sima Yue said. Hearing that it would be burned to ashes, the man-eating flower king was afraid, because she knew that this flame could definitely do it. Ah, I was wrong. Please spare me. The man-eating flower king begged. Spare you? Didn't you say that you were going to eat us? I was wrong. It hurts. Please spare me. Spare you? Sima Yue smiled. I will only forgive my own people. As for my enemies, I will only eliminate them. Chapter 590. The man-eating flower king had lived for a long time, and naturally understood what Sima Yue meant. However, it was unwilling to do so. It's impossible for me to recognize you as my master. Sima Yue was not in a hurry. She controlled the flame to burn slowly and said, Freedom or life, which one is more important? Freedom or life, which was more important? The man-eating flower king was also asking itself if it could give up its freedom for life. No, I won't give up my freedom and faith to become someone else's contract beast. The man-eating flower king shouted loudly. It was unknown whether these words were meant for her or for herself. I believe that you are a very unyielding man-eating flower king. Sima Yue said. But it doesn't matter to me whether you're here or not, so I will respect your choice. After saying that, the flames sped up a little. Soon, half of the flowers on the hillside were burned away by her. You have so many beasts and Brother Qi Yan's powerful flames. This kind of man-eating flower is useless. You can go and burn its main root. Let's go back and eat. Little Dream said. Okay. Sima Yue patted Little Dream's head and replied. The man-eating flower king couldn't believe it. She had such a powerful flame. So how powerful was she? Maybe she really didn't care about it, and didn't care about its life. She even said that she was going home for dinner? What were they trying to do? I'll go find its main root. Little Dream said. Go. We've been out for so long, they must be worried about us. It's better to go back early. Yes. I'm going. As the two of them spoke, they did not put the man-eating flower king in their eyes at all. They did not notice that the man-eating flower king's body was trembling, especially when it saw Xiaoming walking towards its main root. It cried out in fear. No, I don't want my freedom anymore. I'm willing to recognize you as my master. Really? Xiaoming stopped and asked doubtfully. Didn't you just say that you wouldn't give up your freedom for life? I changed my mind, okay? The man-eating flower king said awkwardly. Stop burning. Are you really willing to acknowledge me as your master? Sima Yue asked. Yes, I'm willing. Stop it hurts. The man-eating flower king cried out. Sima Yue snickered in her heart. With a wave of her hand, she kept the flames that covered the entire mountain. At this moment, the man-eating flower king only had a small portion of flowers left. How do we contract it? I don't know either. Sima Yue said. Why don't we go back and ask Imo Sha? He knows. Sima Yue waved at the man-eating flower king, saying, Come back with me. The man-eating flower king hesitated for a moment. Seeing the flame still lingering on her hand, it obediently turned into a blood-red flower. Go. Yayu. Seeing them leave safely, the two people in the air sighed in relief and went back. When Sima Yue went back, those people had already left. Only Imo Sha, the Huajing brothers and Ba Jiazi were left. Yue, where did you go? You didn't come back for so long. We were going to look for you. Ba Jiazi looked at the flower in Sima Yue's hand and said, What a beautiful flower. I went to walk around nearby. Sima Yue saw that she was really worried about her, and said apologetically, It's good that you're okay. Ba Jiazi said, We were just talking about looking for you. Your senior brother said you were fine. He knows you better. Sima Yue nodded at her, and walked to Imo Sha's side. She handed the man-eating flower king to him and said, I caught a naughty little flower. I want to contract it. How do I contract it? Imo Sha looked at the flower in her hand and took it, saying, It really is a little flower. However, it can grow into a man-eating flower king. It's quite rare. I'll tame it for you in a bit. Okay. Sima Yue smiled and replied. If he said it was rare, then this man-eating flower king was indeed rare. Man-eating flower king? The man-eating flower king from the two valleys in front? Hua Xiu exclaimed. That's right. Sima Yue said. I just happened to meet it. It saw that I was pretty and said it wanted to follow me. The man-eating flower king in Imo Sha's hand trembled violently. It was screaming in its heart. Shameless. You're the one who threatened me. Imo Sha seemed to have heard its thoughts. He lowered his eyes and glanced at it, then elegantly ignored it. The Huajing brothers were speechless as the corners of her mouth twitched. That man-eating flower king had been there for a long time. They had never heard of it not eating anyone because of their good looks. Looking at the man-eating flower king's obedient appearance, it must have been taught a lesson by her. However, she was also very capable. Many people had designs on it, but if they didn't leave with heavy injuries, they were eaten by it. They didn't think that she would be able to tame it. How's your discussion going? Sima Yue finally turned around and asked them. It's almost done. If we follow our plan, we'll definitely be able to save Clan Head and the others. Hua Jing said, looking at Imo Sha with admiration. When they were discussing the plan, he only listened to them talk about the situation and reacted quickly. His plan could be said to be perfect. It was much better than what they, who understood the situation here, could come up with. Sima Yue wasn't there at the time, so she didn't see how everyone was deeply impressed by him. Then there's nothing for you to do? Then hurry up and tame the man-eating flower king for me. Sima Yue looked at Emo Sha eagerly. Although Emo Sha liked it when she acted spoiled with him in private, it was too embarrassing to do this in public. He closed his eyes and grabbed the man-eating flower king's roots. After a while, he opened his eyes and threw the flower to her. It's done. Sima Yue caught the man-eating flower king. Looking at its blooming flower, she asked, It's done? So fast. Plant-type beasts have lower spiritual power, not to mention a flower king that just became a king. Emo Sha said casually. Sima Yue could tell that he didn't think much of the man-eating flower king. She also expressed her doubts about her taste. However, thinking about how high his standards were, she didn't want to lower herself to his level. Thus, she held the man-eating flower king and ran to the side to contract it. Because it was the man-eating flower king, and Emo Sha used the imperial beast art to tame it, Sima Yue's dark spiritual power increased quite a bit when she contracted it. Master. Because of the contract, the man-eating flower king's injuries had recovered. Knowing that she was actually from the human world, it was so angry that it wanted to vomit blood, but it didn't dare to do anything to her. Since you like flowers so much, then you'll be called Hua Hua. Before Sima Yue could speak, Little Meng put her hands on her hips and decided on the name of the man-eating flower king. Chapter 591. Hua Hua. Sima Yue pursed her lips. Seeing little dreams you should be called flowy expression. She knew that she was unhappy that the man-eating flower king almost ate them. The man-eating flower king was angered to death. It was so mighty. How could it have such an ugly name? But before she could say anything, Xiaoming spoke again. You don't want to be called Hua Hua? Should I call him the king of Hua Hua? Wang Hua Hua. Flower king flower? Little Dream grabbed its slender roots and said, Tell me, which of these names do you want to choose? If you don't choose, I'll get Big Brother Crimson Flame to deal with you. Through the contract, the man-eating flower king naturally knew what kind of existence Qi Yan was. When it heard Little Dream mention Qi Yan, the man-eating flower king finally compromised. Then let's just call her Hua Hua. Hua Hua King, Hua Hua Wang, and so on were too unpleasant to hear. It's settled then. Hua Hua, you're a member of our family from now on. Don't worry, big sister will protect you. Little Dream said with a smile. Sima Yue held her forehead. Why did she have a feeling that Xiao Meng had been led astray? Little Meng, don't learn bad things from Little Roar. Xiao Meng picked the Hua Hua flowers and inserted them into Sima Yue's hair. They looked quite compatible. Yu, I haven't been led astray. Xiao Meng grabbed her hand and acted coquettishly. It's Yu Guang and the others who told me. They want me to learn Little Roar's shamelessness and scoundrel, learn Thousand Resonance's cunning, learn Chongming's steadiness, learn Little Rock and Crimson Flame's dominance. I'm seriously learning all of them. Sima Yue facepalmed. Spending all her time with Little Roar and the others, she was already greatly influenced by them. Now that she had to put her heart into learning, she really did not know what would become of the innocent Little Meng in the past. Little Dream, don't listen to them. Just be yourself, she said earnestly to Little Dream. Yes, I will be myself. Little Dream nodded seriously. She would definitely be the shameless, cunning, steady and domineering person she was. Sima Yue looked at her innocent smile. Why did she feel her eyelids twitching? Hua Jing and the others had been paying attention to the situation here. When they heard Little Dream mention the names of Sima Yue's beasts, they were amazed that she had so many contracted beasts. She must be an extraordinary person in the human world. Sima Yue and the others waited on the mountain for a few days. After 3 days, Hua Jing and Ba Jiazi also left with their own people. Only Sima Yue and Emo Sha remained, as well as Little Meng, who was filled with curiosity about the entire mountain range. Little Dream was walking in the mountains with a flower in her hand. The magical beasts they encountered did not dare to provoke her when they saw them. What a joke! Who did not recognize the ferocious little flower in her hand? Only the blind Emotion would do such a stupid thing. Serves him right for almost being eaten. They did not know which good person had taken care of this scourge. They were so grateful that they shed tears. With Hua Hua, Sima Yue casually went out to play with Hua Hua. She stayed in her tent, and fiddled with the magical herbs she had obtained here. You. Come out and take a look. Little Dream's voice came from outside. Hearing her call, Sima Yue put down the things in her hands and left the tent. When she went out to take a look, she immediately lost her calm. She pulled Little Dream over and took a deep breath. Why did you bring so many magical beasts back? Little Dream giggled. They said they wanted to follow you. Where did you kidnap them? Who taught you to kidnap them? I already told you not to learn from Little Roar. Sima Yue rubbed her temples. She felt a headache coming on. I didn't learn from Little Roar. Back then, he only kidnapped Yaguang and Little Peng. I've kidnapped a group of beasts much more than him. I've surpassed my master. Little Dream quibbled. You even learned Thousand Resonances sophistry. Sima Yue reached out and poked Little Dream's head. Although Thousand Resonance is cunning, he usually doesn't show it. I'm different from him, Little Dream said with a smile. All right. Let them go back quickly. Sima Yue waved her hand. Seeing those ugly magical beasts, she panicked. You don't like them? All right then. Little Dream turned around and said to those magical beasts with her hands on her hips. My Yu said that she can't take you in. You can all go back. That domineering look really gave off the feeling of a little tyrant in the mountains. Sima Yu saw the way Little Dream was behaving. She had imitated Little Rock so well. She suddenly wondered if she had discovered it too late. Little Dream's look was already a sign that she had taken shape. Thinking of the little girl who would feel timid after eating too much, she wailed in her heart. You guys give me back my cute Little Dream. As for those magical beasts in the spirit pagoda, they were looking at the sky, eating and sleeping. They ignored her wailing. Yes, this was all they're doing. It had nothing to do with her. Sima Yue couldn't help but roll her eyes. Each and every one of them was so thick-skinned. As for those magical beasts, seeing Little Dream let them leave just like that, they were a little unwilling and stayed where they were. The Huahua in Little Dream's hand instantly became angry and roared. If you don't want to leave, then stay and be my dinner. Just nice, I'm hungry. We still have something to do. We'll go back first. Little Dream, come and play when you're free in the future. Yes. We also have something to do. Little Dream, we'll go first. Us too. In less than 2 minutes, all the magical beasts in the valley ran away. It was as if someone was chasing after them. Actually, wasn't there a certain man-eating flower king grinding its teeth here? If they ran too slowly, they might really become its meal. Sima Yue took the Huahua from Little Dream's hand and smiled. Well done. If something like this happens again, I'll leave it to you. I told you you wouldn't like it. Little Dream didn't believe me, and insisted on bringing them back for you to see. The Huahua was already used to its master. Little Dream wants me to take in more people by my side. It'll be safer when I travel on the continent in the future. Sima Yue patted Little Dream's head and said. Little Dream's originally disappointed face immediately bloomed with a smile because of her words. But I say, Huahua, are you male or magnetic? You're quite good at calling yourself an old man. Sima Yue flicked a flower and asked curiously. The Huahua shook the leaves on the flower and said, I'm not telling you. This is a secret. Forget it if you don't want to say it. Sima Yue said. Anyway, you're called Huahua now. You're a male Huahua, and a female is also called Huahua. Uft. Ba Jiazi walked over from the side with a smile and said, This plant-type magical beast doesn't have a gender in the beginning. Whether it becomes a man or a woman after transforming is determined by what they want to do later. Chapter 592. Sima Yue looked at the Huahua in her hand and said in surprise, So you don't want to tell me because you're neither a man nor a woman? You're neither a man nor a woman. Huahua couldn't be bothered with her master, so she decided to play dead and stop talking to her. Sima Yue did not tease her. She looked up at Duoba Jiazi and said, Why are you back? Have you settled the matter? Yes, they have rescued my grandfather and the patriarch of the Chinese clan. Ba Jiazi said. So other than them, the Gui clan and Zhu clan also captured some clan leaders of other clans. I don't know what they want to do. Where are they? Sima Yue only saw her and no one else, so she asked. They are in Blood Level City. They asked me to bring you back. Bajazi said. Why did you have to come personally? You could have just sent someone to call me. Sima Yue said. I'm here to tell you that I've asked our executive elder. He said that our method is to abandon the light attribute in the body at birth, because at that time, they haven't started cultivating yet. In a situation like yours, our method is of no use to you. Sorry, I can't help you. Bajazi said apologetically. Although he knew that the answer would be this, he still felt a little disappointed when he heard it with his own ears. It's all right, I'm not in a hurry right now. Let's see if we can find another way, Sima Yue said. My grandfather said that your senior brother is a very powerful person. Maybe he can find a way. Bajazi said. Your grandfather met my senior apprentice brother? Sima Yue was surprised. This guy was nowhere to be seen, so he went to Lushui City. She didn't know what he said to Hua Jing and the others. Did he say that she knew Emo Sha's whereabouts? Or that he was Emo Sha? Yes, I've already met them. They're currently discussing something and chased us out. So I volunteered to come find you. Bajazi said. Your senior martial brother knew that I came to find you, and told me to bring you back to the city. Let's go then. Sima Yue quickly packed up the tents. When they returned to the city, Sima Yue was arranged to stay in a quiet courtyard. In the past 2 days, other than Bajazi, who came to look for her a few times, no one else came. Even Emo Sha didn't come. On this day, Sima Yue was lying on a rocking chair in the courtyard and chatting with Little Dream. She did most of the talking while Little Dream ate at the stone table beside her. Little Meng, where do you think Emo Sha went? Will they sell us here? Sima Yue picked up a grape and tossed it into her mouth as she asked in boredom. I don't think so. Xiao Ming shook her head with certainty. Why? She hasn't seen him since we got here. But if he sells you, it won't do him any good. Xiao Ming said seriously. And you have a contract with him, why would he leave you here? Sigh. I don't know how long we have to stay in the Devil Realm. Sima Yue sighed. I don't know how they are now if they miss me. Feng knows that I'm missing, so he'll definitely come here. It's best if nothing happens. Aren't you worried that others will come here? Xiaoming asked. I'm not worried, because they can't come to the blood tunnel. Sima Yue said. But Feng is different. He knows that I'm in the Devil Realm, so he'll definitely think of a way to come here. Brother Feng will be fine. Xiaoming comforted. Sigh. I'm worried that he'll break my seal and use that power again. Sima Yue sighed again. She was most worried about Shiman Feng's body. Emo Sha walked in from outside the courtyard, followed by 2 people. They were the Black Jade clan and the Chinese clan leader. Senior brother, why are you here? Sima Yue asked. I brought them here to recognize you. Then we'll prepare to leave. Emo Sha said. Hello, Mississippi. Thank you for your help this time. If Miss comes to the Devil Realm in the future, we hope that you'll come and be our guest. The Black Jade clan leader said. If you have any requests in the future, you can come and find us. You'll be our clan's benefactor forever. This is our clan's token. This is the Chinese clan's token. If anyone comes to find you in the future, they'll definitely bring this and this. The Hua clan leader took out a strange token and said. The 2 clan leaders had given their tokens to her, and she accepted them all without any hesitation. She was afraid that if she refused, they would nag at her for a long time. She kept the 2 tokens, then looked at Emo Sha and asked earnestly, Senior brother, when are we leaving? Emo Sha waved his hand at the 2 of them, and the 2 clan leaders left respectfully. That etiquette actually showed that he was the leader. I asked them to find some things. They should be able to gather them in a few years. Once they've gathered everything, we can cancel the contract. Emo Sha said. Sima Yue was stunned. She didn't know what to feel. Did she want to cancel the contract with him? Or did she want to have no relationship with him? Thinking about how the 2 of them wouldn't contact each other in the future, she suddenly felt a little irritated. But she didn't know why she had such a strange feeling. There were still a few years, which meant that he would still be by her side for a few more years. I'll make preparations, she said. Let's go back now. Emo Sha formed a seal with both hands and opened a space tunnel in the air. Then, he pulled her in without looking back. When their feet touched the ground again, they were already standing at the place where they first came in. This is the exit of the Devil Realm? Sima Yue saw the faintly discernible barrier in the air. This should be the place where they came in. How do we get out? When they came in, they relied on something that Hua Xiao took out to open this barrier. Now were they going to use the same method to get out? His method won't work. Mo Sha understood what she was thinking and said, but that can only be used to enter from the outside. It can't be used to go out from here. Then what do we do? How did Hua Xiao and the others get out? She asked. Their method is too complicated. You don't need that. Mo Sha said. You just need to fuse with Little Roar. Little Roar's innate skill can be used here? This barrier can't stop him, right? Sima Yu's eyes lit up. If Little Roar could be used like this, then she could go wherever she wanted in the future. We still need your spiritual energy to support us. Mo Sha said. You have to release all your 5 elemental spiritual energy and your dark attribute spiritual energy. Adding on Little Roar's innate skill, we can easily get out. Sima Yue nodded and released her fusion with 1,000 resonance. Then, she called Little Roar out to fuse with him. She then released all her 5 elemental spiritual energy and dark spiritual energy to support her, allowing Mo Sha to carry her towards the barrier. Chapter 593. Perhaps it was because she was the one controlling the size of the exit this time. So she spent a lot of energy. Therefore, she felt that the time she spent outside was longer than when she went in. She didn't know how much time had passed, but she felt that the spiritual energy in her body was about to dry up. Only then did they come out of the thick barrier. Are you alright? Sima Yue was being carried by Wu Lingyu. Just as she was feeling a little dizzy, an evil spirit greeted her gently from above her head. Senior brother? She called out uncertainly. Not bad, you didn't get it wrong. Wu Lingyu said with a smile. You're out? Where is Mo Sha? She rubbed her brows and got out of his arms. Standing on the ground, her body was a little weak, and she had no choice but to lean on Wu Lingyu. He went back into the devil's snare ring. Wu Lingyu said, You should go back to the spirit pagoda and rest. Sima Yue nodded and led him into the spirit pagoda. She first adjusted her breathing and rested. Then, she withdrew the dark spiritual energy into her dantian. Then, she circulated the 5 elemental spiritual energy throughout her body. The illusion ring worked again. She changed her clothes into the familiar male attire. Wu Lingyu saw that she had changed back into her male disguise, and thought of her stunning female disguise from before, saying, Looks like we have to settle the matters of the Sage Pavilion as soon as possible. This way, you won't have to dress up as a man all the time. Sima Yue tugged at her clothes and said calmly, It's okay, I'm used to it. What's there to get used to? Women should act like women, Wu Lingyu said. Sima Yue ignored him and brought him out of the spirit pagoda. Unexpectedly, not long after they left, they heard the sound of fighting. That barrier is so difficult to pass. Why are there still so many people from the devil world coming over? She frowned. The people of the devil realm have always been working hard to enter the human realm, and have been researching this for thousands of years. Naturally, they have found many ways. Wu Lingyu said, Think about it. When Mo Sha led his troops to invade the human realm, he also passed through here. In the primordial lands, the northern 6 prefectures are not the only places that have paths to the devil world. Why did he choose this place? Sima Yue was puzzled. The obstacles here are the least. Although there are similar passageways in other places, the barriers are much more difficult. It's also much more troublesome for those people to come here. Wu Lingyu said, Since there's an easier passageway, everyone will definitely be more willing to come here. It's not a battle between demons and humans. Sima Yue and the rest went over and saw a group of people fighting from afar. When she saw the 2 parties clearly, the fire in her heart was ignited. F***ck, how dare they kill my younger brother? These people must be tired of living. Sima Yue roared angrily. She called out Chongming and the others, and was about to join the battle. Don't worry. Wu Lingyu pulled her back. You'll only cause trouble if you go in this state. Sima Yue glared at him. Could he not mention that she was weak? CSI. The little snake rubbed against her ear and stuck out its tongue. You're going? Sima Yue understood what the little snake meant. She rubbed its head and said, You can't expose yourself in front of others now. Otherwise, there'll be trouble. Right now, no one could see through its disguise. But once it went into battle, there was a chance that its identity would be discovered. In order to avoid trouble, it was better not to appear in front of others. Not good, Feng, or wants to break the seal. Hua, go and capture those people. She shouted, took out a flower vine, and threw it forward, throwing Floey to the ground near the battlefield. After forming a contract with Hua, she realized that Hua was not an ordinary man-eating flower king. It could actually cultivate a clone. It could split its main root into 2 parts. As long as one part was left, it could regenerate. Therefore, she planted the part of Hua's main root in her spirit pagoda. This way, even if she died, Hua would not die. After Hua fell to the ground, it quickly grew on the ground. In a short while, it surrounded the entire battlefield. Then dozens of huge man-eating flowers suddenly rose from the ground, scaring those who were fighting fiercely. What is this? God, it's a demonic vine. Man-eating flower. It's a man-eating flower. Why did it suddenly appear here? Be careful, don't be caught by its flowers. Shimin Feng was preparing to break the seal and activate the power that Sima Yue had sealed. Seeing the sudden change, he was stunned. What's going on? The people who were with him saw the sudden appearance of the man-eating flowers and quickly gathered around. Under Sima Yue's instructions, the man-eating flower king caught all the people on the other side. The flower petals that were harder than steel sucked them in. No matter how hard they tried, they could not open it. Should we take advantage of this opportunity to kill those people? Someone suggested. Don't move first. The sudden appearance of this man-eating flower is too strange. We don't even know if it's a friend or a foe. What if it turns to attack us when we move? Let's just wait and see. Shimin Feng's words were interrupted by someone walking towards them. After confirming that he did not see wrongly, he quickly flew towards her and hugged her. Sima Yue patted Shimin Feng's shoulder and said, Aren't I back safe and sound now? Don't worry. You know that I'm worried. Shimin Feng hugged her tightly. Then why didn't you come back earlier? I didn't want to. I can't come back as I wish after going there. Also, I was kidnapped. Sima Yue said. Then are you hurt? Shimin Feng let go of her and looked at her carefully. Sima Yue saw that he was frowning and quickly comforted him. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not hurt. I think you seem to have gained weight, Shimin Feng said. I think I've been worried for nothing these past few months. Sima Yue glared at him. Was this what a good brother should say? Can't we still have fun together? Shimin Feng looked at her angry face and laughed. His heart that had been hanging in the air finally settled down. Master, can I eat them? Hua's voice pulled Shimin Feng's thoughts back. Seeing a huge flower suddenly appeared behind him, and inside the flower, there was a tooth that was more than a foot long, which made people feel cold from the bottom of their heart. He was startled. Who are these people? Sima Yue asked. They are the people from District 38. Shimin Feng said. District 38? He said so. She should know about District 38? District 38 is the place where you found your master. Shimin Feng explained. So it's them. Sima Yue looked at them and said, We don't need to leave these people alive, right? They are not important people. It doesn't matter if they are alive or not. Shimin Feng said. That's good. Hua, they are your lunch. Chapter 594. In the beginning, they wanted to kill her master, and now they wanted to kill her brother. She couldn't give these people a reason to live. Hua received her order and ate those people. Feeling that it was not enough, it turned its attention to the rest of the people, which gave them a fright. Sigh, I'm not in the demon realm. I don't even have the freedom to eat humans. Hua sighed and put away the flowers. They turned into a thin vine and wrapped around her waist. Sima Yue looked at this self-aware fellow and pulled it out, throwing it into the spirit pagoda. When they saw Sima Yu's straightforward manner, they could not help but twitch their lips. She was still the most domineering one. Feng, is she the relative you're looking for? A man in black walked over and asked. Yes, this is my brother Sima Yue. Shimin Feng said. This is Kong Valley's eldest disciple Kong Bingyu. The others are also from the Kong Valley. She looks younger than you, but she's actually your brother. Kong Bingyu smiled and said. You're Sima Yue, the person we're looking for this time. Sima Yue looked at Shimin Feng in confusion. The Valley Lord knew that you were captured and brought to the demon world. So he sent people to find a way to rescue you. Shimin Feng explained. Send someone to save me? Sima Yue looked at them strangely. She did not have much interaction with the Kong Valley. Why would they want to save her? Because he knows that at that time you gave them 2 muscle and marrow cleansing pills. Third Mo was also willing to help them because of you. So he wants to befriend you. Shimin Feng said. Not only that, the academy also sent people. The Feng clan had also sent people over. As for the Bird clan, it could be said that all the Bird clans in the outer regions had sent people over. Everyone is trying to find a way to enter the Devil Realm, to look for you. Sima Yue was touched. She did not expect so many people to come and save her. What about them? How did you get into a fight with the people from Area 38? She asked. Our people are spread out in various regions. Let's try to strike from other places. We've been assigned to this place. On the surface, these people said that they would help us to search together, but in private, they did some small actions. Shimin Feng said. Just now there was only some dispute, and they shouted to kill us. Maybe it's because we're with the Feng clan. Which force is number 38? Sima Yue asked. It's the Feng clan's old enemy, the Qi clan. Shimin Feng said. Everyone is still very worried about you. Now that you're back, go and tell everyone that you're safe. Okay, Sima Yue replied. They returned together. This time, Shimin Feng and others didn't go to the place where number 38 was stationed. Instead, they directly went to the place where the commander-in-chief was stationed. After everyone found a solution, they would gather here to discuss it. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu sat on Shimin Feng's flying beast and flew for half a day before reaching their destination. Just then, the people in charge of the various forces gathered together to discuss matters. When they saw that they were back, they all heaved a sigh of relief. Sima Yue had just gotten off the flying beast and had yet to say a word when something flew out from the side of the tent. Wu Lingyu, who was at the side, quickly pulled her aside, and that thing just happened to brush past the two of them. Pa! That thing fell to the ground and made a crisp sound. Only then did everyone see clearly what that flying thing was. A smelly shoe fell on the ground all by itself. You two little brats, have you grown up? You actually dared to go to the Devil Realm to play? Do you know that this old man can't take any more of your torture? Another shoe flew out from the tent. This time, without Wu Lingyu's reminder, Sima Yue knew to avoid it. Hearing Old Man Devil's voice, Sima Yue was very happy. However, she still felt wronged and said, Master, I was caught by someone. I didn't go there to play. Old Man Devil walked out of the tent barefoot. He stared at the two of them and walked over to slap each of their heads. How dare you quibble? You let him catch you just because he caught you? Have you ever thought about how worried we would be if you were caught? Look at me. I'm already so old, and I still had to rush over from the central area. I'm so tired. Don't even think about how much white hair I've lost and how many wrinkles I've gotten. Old Man Devil reached out and pinched Sima Yue's face. Master, it's not like he didn't catch me just because I didn't want him to. Sima Yue looked at Old Man Devil pitifully. That person's cultivation level is higher than mine. And you brat. Old Man Devil realized that his little disciple's cultivation level was indeed lower. He turned his attention back to Wu Lingyu. Seeing your junior brother get caught, you didn't even try to save him? Didn't I save him? Wu Lingyu rolled his eyes as he said. Don't think that I don't know what you're thinking. Old Man Devil said. If you dare to hurt my good disciple, I'll make you soak in medicinal baths every day. Master, I'm your disciple too, okay? You've already grown up. Yue is still young. You're her senior brother. You should protect her well. Old Man Devil scolded. Aren't I protecting her well? Her little brother said that she's gained weight. How is this the treatment of someone who's being abused? Wu Lingyu said. Alright, actually he had been sleeping the whole time. The person who protected her and made her gain weight was Mo Sha. However, this was still his body, wasn't it? They were the same person from the start. Old Man Devil opened his mouth and wanted to say something. Sima Yue hurriedly grabbed his arm and said, Master, if there's anything, let's settle it later. So many people are watching. Old Man Devil looked at the dazed crowd and snorted twice. He didn't say anything else. Yue, it's good that you're back. Otherwise, we'll feel guilty for the rest of our lives. Dan Jing was also here. Seeing Sima Yue standing in front of him, the worry in his heart dissipated. Sima Yue looked over and nodded at Dan Jing. Seeing Feng Zhixing looking at her, she walked over and said, Master, I'm back. Feng Zhixing reached out and patted her head. He smiled and nodded. It's good that you're back. If anything happened to you, I wouldn't be able to. You've gained a little weight. He pinched her face again. That little bit of flesh. I didn't expect Yue to be the Junior Valley Master of the Divine Devil Valley. When we saw the Devil Valley Lord coming, we thought it was because of the Holy Sun. We didn't expect him to ask about you first. That's when we found out that you have a master. It's good that you're back. Otherwise, your two masters would have turned this place into a low-pressure center. Xiong Anren laughed. Since Yue and the rest are back, let's inform those outside to prepare to retreat. Feng Lu said. All right. Old Man Devil walked over and grabbed Sima Yue. When he passed by Wu Lingyu, he said, You two come in. I have something to ask you. Chapter 595. Sima Yue followed Old Man Devil into his tent and saw him casually setting up a barrier. Then, he looked at her and Wu Lingyu and asked, Were you really captured when you went to the Devil Realm? Or did you go in by yourselves? Someone caught me. We beat them at their own game. Sima Yue answered honestly. Is it because of this brat? Old Man Devil said. I guess so. Sima Yue said. She gave a rough account of what had happened after she met Hua Xiao, and what had happened in the Devil Realm. After Old Man Devil heard everything, he said with a solemn expression, It seems that there are still a few years before you can cancel the contract. You have to work hard to increase your strength in these few years. The stronger you are, the stronger your divine sense will be, and the less harm it will cause to you when the contract is cancelled. Sima Yue nodded, indicating that she understood. After leaving Old Man Devil's tent, Sima Yue went to Shimen Feng's tent. Big brother, why are you here? Shimen Feng was talking to Kong Bingyu. Seeing her come in, both of them stood up. Shimen Feng's face was completely healed, but in order to prevent people from Yinyang Palace from seeing him, he still wore a mask. However, this couldn't hide the smile on his face. Sima Yue looked at the way the two interacted and guessed that their relationship was not bad. Ever since they met again, she rarely saw Shimen Feng smile. Let me check on your recent situation. What are you guys talking about? You look so happy. She walked over and pulled a chair to sit beside him. She took his hand and examined it. I'm telling Bingyu about some funny things that happened in the Kong Valley recently. Shimen Feng said. Don't worry, I didn't remove the seal. I saw it just now. If seeing your brother and I hadn't arrived in time, I'm afraid you would have been devoured by the backlash. Sima Yue glared at him. He smiled awkwardly and quietly let her check his body. Seeing Shimen Feng's current appearance, Kong Bingyu was secretly surprised. Everyone knew what kind of person Shimen Feng was normally. He was antisocial, cold, and ignored people. She had also spent a lot of effort to have the current relationship with him. But now, he actually discovered such a well-behaved side of him, and he really looked like a younger brother. He then looked at Sima Yue, who was concentrating on examining Shimen Feng. She clearly looked so young, and he heard that she was only in her 20s. Why was it that when the two of them interacted, it was as if they were brothers? Sima Yue checked him for a while to make sure that he was fine before she withdrew her hand. How is it? I told you that I listened to you and didn't do anything that would harm my body, Shimen Feng said. Other than worrying about your safety, I lost a little weight. Stop teasing me to cover up your mistake today, Sima Yue said. If I didn't come in time today, I can't imagine what would have happened to you. When I get back, I will continue to study your situation and remove this hidden danger for you as soon as possible. The next time I see you doing something so dangerous, I will kick you into the Ninth Star Ocean. The Ninth Star Ocean is so far away, you can't kick me over, Shimin Feng said with a smile. You can try. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. Forget it, I won't try, Shimin Feng said. But I heard from Qin Mo that Third Mo went to the Ninth Star Ocean recently. I don't know why he went to such a dangerous place. Third Mo went to the Ninth Star Ocean? What did he go there for? Sima Yue was very surprised when she heard this news. The Ninth Star Ocean was a vast ocean that connected the central region and the outer region. It was many times bigger than the Atlantic Ocean in her previous life. Although the Ninth Star Ocean was the boundary between two regions, no one dared to cross the ocean to go to the other side. Because of the dangers there, even monarchs didn't dare to casually go there. Third Mo actually went to such a dangerous place. This made her faintly worried for him. Don't worry too much. I heard from Qin Mo that Third Mo went to look for him before he left. From what he said, Third Mo seemed to be very confident about this trip. Shimin Feng comforted. You don't know. Every time that guy said that he was confident, he was less than half confident. When he was confident, he wouldn't say it. Sima Yue said. Since he said that to Qin Mo, it means that he isn't confident. No, I have to think of a way to stop him. It's already too late, Shimin Feng said. When you were in the Devil Realm, he had already gone. Why didn't Qin Mo stop him? Sima Yue said. Qin Mo said that he tried to stop him, but Third Mo was very insistent. You know Third Mo's temper the best. Qin Mo couldn't persuade him, and could only send 2 people to go with him, but they were all rejected by him. Shimin Feng said. I think he definitely went there for something that he didn't want others to know. Maybe. Sima Yue sighed. But although that guy's actions are somewhat risky, he's lucky. Every time, he would escape from a disaster. I hope that nothing will happen to him this time. Otherwise, with how big the Ninth Star Ocean is, it would be extremely difficult for us to find him. Sima Yue thought of his mysterious identity. She didn't know whether his going there had anything to do with his identity. Alright, I've finished examining you. You guys can continue chatting. I'll go see Master, Sima Yue said and pulled open the curtain and went out. When she arrived at Feng Zhixing's tent, he was looking at a painting. Sensing her arrival, he put away the painting. Master. Sima Yue went in and saw Feng Zhixing sitting on the chair. She felt that there was a trace of sadness in his eyes that couldn't be dispersed. Was it because of her mother? She didn't know what kind of person her mother was. To be able to make such a peerless person so deeply in love with her. Yue, you're here. Feng Zhixing smiled and waved at her. Sima Yue walked over and sat beside him, saying, Master, when I was free in the demon world, I made a rubbing of an array book. I want to give it to you. She took out a rubbing and handed it to him. Array book? Did you get it in the demon world? Feng Zhixing took the rubbing and asked without looking at it in a hurry. No, I got it before. But because I was always busy, I didn't have the time to make a copy. Sima Yue said, Actually, I started making copies before I went to the demon world. It's just that I was a little slow, and only finished when I was in the demon world. Master, what do you think of this? Feng Zhixing looked at her eager expression, and picked up the rubbing, and placed it on his forehead. He had seen a lot of array formation books, and many of them were extremely rare. He had originally planned to say that he liked it even if it was very ordinary. He didn't have much hope, but when he started reading it, he was completely stunned. Chapter 596. His reaction was similar to Third Mo's when he first saw Soul seeking the source. Feng Zhixing raised his head and grabbed Sima Yue's hand. He asked excitedly, Where did you get this formation? It was Sima Yue's first time seeing him so excited. In the past, he had always been indifferent. Even when he was in a desperate situation, he would only smile when he saw the Feng family coming to his rescue. They brought it out from a graveyard. I saw that the array on it was very good, so I wanted to share it with Master. She smiled and said, but because it was given to me by someone else, I can't give the book away. Then can you show me that book? Sima Yue took out the book. It was the book that Wu Lingyu had found for her. Feng Zhixing held the book with both hands. When he saw the biography on the title page, he excitedly muttered to himself. That's right, that's right. This is the book. After being missing for so many years, I never thought that I would be lucky enough to see it again. Master knows about this book? Sima Yue asked. The book didn't seem to have a name on it, so how did he know what book it was? This is the 100 Changing Doors, which is also the original array doors. Their sect master created a book, which was then regarded as a rare treasure in the array world. It was said that after his death, the original novel disappeared. Everyone guessed that it must have been buried with him. However, because there was still a rubbing, no one paid much attention to it. However, the second book also disappeared. Only then did everyone remember the original book. However, at that time, the 100 Changing Doors had already moved to the central regions. Furthermore, the previous seniors had already passed away. The location of the founder's grave has always been a mystery. Sima Yue didn't expect so many things to happen in between. She also didn't expect Feng Zhixing to know the origin of this book at a glance. Seeing how he loved it so much that he couldn't bear to part with it, she wanted to give the book to him. But thinking about how Wu Lingyu had been trapped in the array for 2 years because of this book, and even injured his soul, if she gave it away, with his temperament, he would definitely be unhappy. After hesitating for a long time, she still didn't say it. Feng Zhixing looked at the book for a while, and compared the content in the rubbings he had just seen with the previous content. He found that Sima Yue was very serious in rubbings. There was almost no deviation at all. Even if she didn't understand the content, she printed it out accurately. He returned the book to her and said, I'll keep the rubbing, but I'll return the book to you. You must take good care of this unique book, and don't show it to others easily in the future, unless it's someone you really trust. Sima Yue nodded and kept the book. She knew the value of this book in the entire continent. If others knew that this book was in her possession, unless she was willing to give it up, it would bring her endless trouble. Master, I'll head back first. Sima Yue stood up and said, And that's right. Since you're going back, tell the people from the Kong Valley that we'll be waiting for the others to return tomorrow, before we return to the main road. Feng Zhixing said, You should take advantage of this time to rest. When people ask you about what happened in the devil world, you'd better think of a good excuse. Yes, I will, Sima Yue said. With so many people coming to look for them, the news of them entering the devil world had probably spread throughout the continent. If they saw her go back, those people couldn't ask Wu Lingyu, but they would definitely ask her. It seemed like she had to find Wu Lingyu to discuss what to say when she went up. Actually, according to Mo Sha, they didn't really go deep into the devil world. They only made a small fuss at the side. It was like a super bustling town, and they only walked around a small village at the edge of the town. Mo Sha said that because they didn't go deep, the things she saw were still considered good. If they went deeper, then she definitely wouldn't think that life in the devil world was good. Sima Yue didn't comment on this. She was just a passerby in the devil world. She didn't care about what the real devil world was like. But she didn't think that she would enter the devil world again a few years later and experience so many shocking things. She went to Wu Lingyu's resting place. Wu Lingyu knew her intentions and said, If people ask you, just say that you don't know anything. You were in a daze. When you woke up, we were already back in the bloody tunnel. Just say that you saved me? Let them ask you about the details? Sima Yue blinked. This was a good excuse. She didn't know what was going on. She didn't even know about entering the devil world. If they wanted to know the details, they had to ask the Holy Son of the Sage Pavilion. She wanted to see how many people would ask him, and how many people would dare to ask him. After solving this problem, she went back with peace of mind. When the leader of the Egret clan, Bai Qing, brought the elders of the clan back, she remembered the elders that she kept in the spirit pagoda. Little Rock had already told them not to tell anyone about the spirit pagoda. The elders had seen crimson flame inside. the divine bird with the highest status in the bird clan. Even Little Rock could only stand aside. The elders were instantly excited and shocked, repeatedly expressing that they would not speak of this matter. Crimson Flame looked at them and said, "I still believe in myself." He formed a seal with both hands, and a few red lights entered the elders' heads. This thing usually doesn't have any effect in your body, but if you want to tell anyone about the spirit pagoda, it will immediately take your life. If you don't believe me, you can try it when you get out, Crimson Flame said. The elders expressed their loyalty again, saying that they wouldn't tell anyone. They even asked to stay here and follow Little Rock and Crimson Flame. Crimson Flame originally wanted to refuse, but he thought that Sima Yue wasn't strong enough. Although she had ninth rock in the others, it would be good to have a few more old birds by her side, so he agreed to their request. Thus, when she saw Bai Qing, Sima Yue felt that she had let him down. She felt as if she had dug a corner of his wall. When Bai Qing heard that the elders wanted to represent the Egret clan to stay by Little Rock's side to protect him, he expressed his approval. He kept asking if it was enough, and if there was a need to send 2 more elders. Sima Yue looked at him. If he wasn't the king of the Egret clan, he would have personally stayed. After sending the warm-hearted Bai Qing away with great difficulty, Sima Yue took back the elders and finally had time to rest. The next morning, Shiman Feng came to tell her that everyone was ready to set off. Sima Yue went out and got on the flying beast with everyone, flying towards the ancient primordial lands. After passing through layers of thick fog, she finally returned to the Red Canyon and saw the blue sky that she hadn't seen for a long time. Chapter 597. New Dagger fantasy novel. She had been down there for almost a year, but she had never seen the blue sky or white clouds. Now that she saw the blue sky, she felt a little excited. She sat on an egret, and the egret flew her to the top of the canyon. Before she reached the top, she heard someone calling her name. "Grandfather, Auntie Yu, Auntie Lan, why are you all here?" She got down from the white heron as Sima Lai and the others surrounded her. "We knew that you were taken to the devil world. We were very worried, so we followed Fonger here. But because our strength is too low, we can't go down and can only wait for you here." Sima Lai looked at Sima Yue and saw that she was not missing an arm or a leg. Only then did he feel at ease. Although they were holding her life jade and knew that she had nothing to worry about, they were still worried that she would suffer and get hurt down there. Now that they saw that her complexion was good, they could finally stop worrying. "It's good that you're back," Lan said from the side. "If anything happened to you, those children would be heartbroken. Are they all right?" Sima Yue could imagine their reactions when they heard that they were taken to the devil world. "It's all right. At first they were a little crazy and worried about your safety, but after they found out that you were fine, they calmed down," Sang Muyu said. "Initially they wanted to come here as well, but the academy did not allow it, so they could only wait for you here." "Then let's go back earlier," Sima Yue said. She turned around and looked at Feng Zhixing. "Master, you've been out for so long, go back. When I'm done with my business, I'll go to the academy to see you," Feng Zhixing said. "All right. If you don't come, I will look for you," Sima Yue said. "Now I know how to find you." Old Man Devil unhappily pinched Wu Lingyu's clothes and said, "Yue is too biased. We're both masters. Why don't I see her reluctant to part with me?" Wu Lingyu pulled her clothes back and rolled her eyes at him. Sima Yu also expressed her gratitude to the others who came to save her. Although they didn't do much, their intentions were still worthy of her gratitude. After the others left, Sima Yue came to Old Man Devil's side and took out a spatial ring, saying, "Master, I know you're thinking about them." Old Man Devil looked at the things inside the ring, and the melancholy on his face disappeared, replaced by a bright smile. He quickly put the things away and patted Yue's shoulder, saying, "Good disciple, you know how to be filial to your master. As long as master is happy." Sima Yue smiled. At the same time, she complained in her heart. That stinky look on his face was because he thought that she didn't care about him. "That's right, master. Do you know a girl called Feng Ruyen?" Old Man Devil's hand trembled as he shouted, "Who are you talking about?" "Feng Ruyan." From the way she spoke, she should know you, Sima Yue said. "How do you know her?" Old Man Devil said excitedly. "Do you know where she is now?" "I don't know, she already left," Sima Yue said. "Master, do you know her?" I do, Old Man Devil muttered. "I didn't expect to hear news about her. She must be as beautiful as she was back then." Sima Yue saw that he was in a daze and waved her hand in front of him, saying, "Master, she can't be the person you like, right?" Old Man Devil slapped her hand away, saying, "What nonsense are you talking about? I was still a child when I met her." "It's been a few hundred years, and you still remember her?" Sima Yue teased. "How can I not remember? A girl like her is unforgettable," Old Man Devil said. "Tell me, how do you know her? Did you see her?" Sima Yue told Old Man Devil the news of Feng Ruyan's treatment. Old Man Devil fell silent after hearing it. "That means that you don't know where she is now. Looks like I have to ask Jun Song. That guy seems to have gone to the central regions recently," Old Man Devil said. "Alright, you guys should hurry back to the academy. Remember to send my regards to that old guy." After speaking, he opened a space tunnel and went in. It was only when the space tunnel closed that she remembered that he didn't tell her who Feng Ruyan was. "Forget it, I didn't want to know when Auntie Feng was here. It's okay if I don't know now. I'll know when the time comes." Sima Yue sighed, then said to Sima Lai and the rest, "Let's go back too." They went to a nearby city and used the teleportation array to return to the central region. This time, she didn't get sick from the teleportation array. However, Shimen Feng still couldn't get used to it. When she returned home, Bei Gong Tang and the rest happened to be home. When they saw her return, they were all extremely excited. "I knew that you would be fine." Fatty Chu came up and wanted to give her a bear hug, but he felt that something was wrong when he hugged her. He raised his head and saw Wu Lingyu looking at him coldly. "Fatty, I didn't think that you would be so warm towards me." Fatty Chu looked at Sima Yue, who was standing at the side and laughing secretly. He knew that Wu Lingyu must have pulled Sima Yue away and came over himself. He let go of him resentfully. "Fifth bro." Sima Yuming and the rest walked over and hugged her. "It's good that you're back." Sima Yue patted their backs, saying, "I've made you guys worry." "It's okay for us to worry, as long as you're safe," Sima Yue said. "When we found out that you and your senior brother had been taken to the Devil Realm, we were all scared out of our wits. We thought that you were doomed. It's a good thing that we remembered your life jade and saw that it was intact, so we knew that you were fine. If not, everyone would have gone crazy." Wu Lingyu didn't think that she would be able to protect Fatty Chu, but not her brothers. Seeing them hug for so long, she really wanted to go up and pull them away. "Alright, they just came back. Let Yue sit down and rest for a while," Bei Gong Tang said. Yes, look at how excited we are," Sima Yuming said with a smile. "Let's go in first." "Right, why are you all at home today? Don't you have classes?" Everyone walked towards the living room, and Sima Yue asked when she thought that they were all here. "The sect has been organizing a competition recently, so we haven't had classes recently. We're all preparing ourselves," Wei Ziqi said. "The competition this time is for those people to prepare for the inner sect in a year's time. They want to see what level they are at," Ouying Fei explained. "The competition will start the day after tomorrow. If you look for the vice principal, you might be able to sign up," Fatty Chu said. Sima Yue shook her head, saying, "I just came back and have a lot of things to do. I won't be participating in the competition, but I will definitely cheer you on when you compete." Chapter 598. Sima Yue went to the school the second day after her return. She went with Wu Lingyu to visit the dean of teaching and the vice principal. The dean asked them about what they had gained this year. Wu Lingyu said a lot, but in her eyes, it was all nonsense. The vice principal didn't say anything, but asked Wu Lingyu to stay alone. Before she left, the vice principal said that Galang had looked for her several times. She left the vice principal's office and went straight to Gulang's research lab. Gulang was in the middle of a discussion with a student. When he saw her, he was a little surprised, but more than that, he was excited. That's all for today. We'll talk about the rest later, Gulang said to the students. The competition is coming up. You must prepare yourselves. Yes, Mr. Gu. The students packed up their things and saw Sima Yue standing outside. Yue, you're back? I heard that your assistant teacher took you out to travel. How have you been this year? Someone greeted her. Not bad. Have you all signed up for the competition? What projects did you sign up for? We all signed up to refine pills. There is no medical faculty in the inner yard. If we want to enter, we can only choose other courses. Good luck, seniors. You're here for Mr. Gu, right? Go in quickly. Teacher Gu said that you've been gone for a long time. Alright, take care, seniors. Sima Yue chatted with them for a while before entering the room. Gulang had already cleaned up the teaching materials. Teacher Gu. Sima Yue bowed to Gulang. I heard that you were taken to the Devil Realm. Are you alright? Gulang asked. This matter was a secret among the students, but the teachers knew about it. The academy even sent teachers to participate in the search and rescue. Fortunately, Teacher Wu saved me. I'm still safe, Sima Yue said. That's good, said Glenn. Look at this. As he spoke, he took out a few sheets of paper and handed them to her. Sima Yue took the paper and looked at it. The more she looked at it, the happier she became. Teacher Gu, you've thought of a solution for my brother's illness? Gulang nodded. I've been studying his condition for the past year. Then I came up with this method. I think it should be useful. But there's no way to test it. Why? Asked Sima Yue. Because this is an impossible prescription. Look at the last sheet. Gu said. Sima Yue took out the last piece of paper and looked at it. It was filled with the required ingredients. The more she looked down, the more shocked she became. These are the main ingredients. What I have here, I have ticked off at the back, said Glenn. The others, each one of them is very rare. Among them, the last few are the rarest. Of Earth's UUS. These were 10,000-year-old Black Sea cucumbers can only be found in the 9th star ocean. Moreover, it's very rare to encounter one of this age. Old about. As for the last one, I know it exists but I can't get it. Gulang said. No matter what, I have to find these things. Sima Yue said. Teacher Gu, you said you know where the Earth's eye is? When Gulang heard Sima Yue's words, he realized that he had said something wrong. He wanted to deny it, but when he saw Sima Yue's anxious gaze, he couldn't bear to lie to her. I do know where the Earth's eye is, but it's still the same. You can't get it. Why? Because it belongs to the academy. No one can get it, Gulang said. So don't think about it. It's still early. We can think of other ways. Teacher Gu, do you think there are other ways? Sima Yue asked. Gulang was stunned and shook his head. He had thought for a long time before coming up with this idea. He had been very careful with these ingredients. If there were other ways, he wouldn't be so conflicted. So I have to give it a try, Sima Yue said. Teacher, please tell me where the Earth's eye is. Gulang was silent for a while, then said solemnly, forget it. This isn't a secret anymore. There's no harm in telling you. The Earth's eye is now in the forbidden area of the academy. Forbidden area of the academy? Inner courtyard? Gulang nodded. The Earth's eye has always been in the academy. It has always been a secret. But a few decades ago, someone leaked the news, and some people found out about it. So in these few years, many people came to the academy to find trouble. But because of the academy's status, they didn't dare to openly snatch it. Sima Yue thought of the few geniuses from the central region. Were they here for the Earth's eye? Teacher Gu, only by entering the inner courtyard can one enter the forbidden area. Is that right? Sima Yue asked. You want to go? No. The forbidden area is very dangerous. Those who enter without permission don't come back. No, I'm not talking about this. The forbidden area of the academy is off limits. Once you're discovered, you'll be chased out of the academy, Gulang said anxiously. Teacher Gu, don't worry. I didn't say that I want to go to the forbidden area, Sima Yue said. Besides, I can't go in now, right? I'm just thinking if there's a way to get some out. You didn't say that there's a lot of it. That's impossible. Gulang said. If everyone thinks like you, then the Earth's eye would be long gone. This kind of thing can't be used in the forbidden area. It's better to use it as a medicinal ingredient. It can even show its value. Sima Yue said. What nonsense. Gulang knocked her on the head. Sima Yue smiled and kept the paper. I'll go find someone to help me find other medicinal ingredients. Go. Gulang waved his hand, and Sima Yue left. Seeing her leaving figure, Gulang sighed. He didn't know if he was right to tell her this news. After Sima Yue came out, she went straight to Xianyuan Pavilion and found the steward. The steward was a bald old man with a pair of small eyes that shone with a shrewd light. Sima Yue didn't beat around the bush. She took out the token that Jun Song gave her and said, I have something to trouble Xianyuan Pavilion with. The steward saw the token in Sima Yue's hand and said respectfully, So it's young Master Yue. What orders do you have? Sima Yue took out a piece of paper and said, Get someone to help me collect the medicinal ingredients on this. As for the reward, young Master Sima has this token. You don't need to pay to take things here. The steward said, No need to pay. She remembered that Jun Lan and the rest had to pay if they wanted to take things from Xianyuan Pavilion. Could it be that her position in Xianyuan Pavilion was higher than theirs? Chapter 599. Then can you help me check if the Xianyuan Pavilion has the herbs listed here? Sima Yue asked. The steward took the paper and saw what was written on it. Even though he was experienced and knowledgeable, he was still shocked. Sima Yue looked at him and wondered if he was unwilling to give it to her because it was too precious. Don't worry, I won't take the Xianyuan Pavilion's things for free. I'll give you a corresponding reward. Young Master Yue, you've misunderstood. I'm just surprised by these things. The manager explained. Does the Xianyuan Pavilion have these things? Sima Yue asked. As long as it wasn't that the other party didn't want to give it to him. Everything was negotiable. Some of them are available here. Some of them are only available in the central regions. However, we can transfer the goods. However, we don't have the last 3 items. The manager said. Sima Yue knew that the last 3 items were hard to find. It was good enough that she could gather all the other items. Then I'll have to trouble you to prepare these medicinal herbs for me. As for the remaining 3, get someone to help me find them. If they can find them, I'll buy them at a high price, and I'll reward you handsomely. Okay, I will send the last 3 items to the entire Xianyuan Pavilion, and let everyone help you keep an eye out. The steward said, When do you want the rest? As long as everything is ready, there's no need to rush. Sima Yue said, Also, we don't need the Earth's eye. Help me find the other 2. If you find it, please let me know. All right. When Sima Yue came out of the Xianyuan Pavilion, it was already afternoon. Unexpectedly, she met a few acquaintances not long after she went out. When Tuoba Yenner saw Sima Yue, she walked over and said, Yue, what a coincidence. When we heard that you were back, we were going to visit you later. We didn't expect to meet you here. Didn't you prepare for the competition later? Sima Yue saw that only Tuoba Yenner and Feng Wuhan were present this time. Mu Lin and Wang Kai were not present. What's there to prepare for a little competition like that? The autumn air is refreshing. It's the best time to come out and drink tea. Tuoba Yenner said. We're preparing to drink tea. Do you want to come with us? Sima Yue originally wanted to reject, but when she saw Tuoba Yenner winking at her, as if she had something to say to her, she nodded and followed them to the tea house. After the waiter served the tea, Tuoba Yenner and Feng Wuhan raised their teacups. Tuoba Yenner said gratefully, Yue, thank you for saving my uncle. Wu Chun and I will use tea instead of wine to propose a toast to you. Your uncle? Tuoba Wu Chun? Sima Yue asked. Yes. He and Uncle Xing have been missing for many years. We have always been looking for him, but we never thought that the 2 of them would be trapped in the blood-red continent for so many years. Tuoba Yenner said, Actually, I have a question. Why haven't they found a way to leave the bloody tunnel after so many years? Sima Yue asked. Tuoba Yen'er and Feng Wuhan looked at each other and hesitated for a moment before saying, because they were also brought to the devil realm. However, we don't know what they went through. Master and Tuoba Wuchen also went to the devil realm? And they stayed there for so many years. How did they survive? How did they come back? It seemed like they had many secrets on them. Sima Yue raised her teacup and proposed a toast to them. The three of them drank the tea and smiled at each other. Oh right, if Han knew that you came back, he would definitely be very happy. He has already come out to look for you a few times. When he found out that you were taken to the devil realm, he wanted to look for you as well. Tuoba Yen'er said, in a few days they will come out to visit. He should come out when he gets the news. Just as Tuoba Yen'er said, in a few days, Tuoba Han and Feng Wuhang came to look for her. I really can't believe that you actually went to the devil realm. What's even more unbelievable is that you actually came back unscathed from the devil realm. Feng Yuhang and Sima Yue were somewhat familiar with each other. With Feng Zhixing's relationship, they spoke much more casually. I also feel that it's very strange. Sima Yue said, everyone seems to think that it's normal for me to be missing an arm or a leg. Han, how has your body been this year? You can check it yourself. Tuoba Han sat beside her and stretched out his hand for her to check. Sima Yue took his pulse, and her lips curled into a charming smile. I can't feel the poison anymore. Congratulations, you've advanced again. I have to thank you for this. If you didn't detoxify the poison in my body, I would probably need a few more years to advance. Tuoba Han said, your talent is good. Sima Yue said. Tuoba Han smiled. After interacting with her a few times, he realized that her personality was sometimes very mild, and sometimes a little hooligan. No matter what, we will remember your kindness to me and the Tuoba family. Tuoba Han said, since you've already said so, then remember it. Sima Yue said, I have something to ask you. He had just said that her personality was mild, but this hooligan side of her was showing again. Say it, what is it? As long as I know, I will definitely tell you. You said it yourself. Sima Yue said, you geniuses from the inner regions came to the academy. Is it because of the thing in the forbidden area of the inner courtyard? Tuoba Han didn't think that she would actually ask this question. His heart skipped a beat. He saw that she was looking at him with a look that said, you know what to say. He then looked at Feng Yuhang. Seeing that there was no objection, he nodded and said, yes. That thing is the eye of the earth? She asked again. Yes. Then how much do you know about the forbidden area? Have you entered it before? What is it like inside? Tuoba Han saw that she was so concerned and asked back. Yue, don't tell me that you are also interested in that thing? If you all are interested in the eye of the earth, why can't I? Sima Yue smiled and looked at the two of them. Since we are so familiar with each other, shouldn't you share your resources? Then you have to tell me what you want it for. Tuoba Han said. The eye of the earth could be used as a medicinal ingredient. More importantly, it contained a huge amount of power. It was said that it could destroy heaven and earth. That was why it was coveted by many big powers. To save people. Sima Yue said, medicine. And I only need a little. If possible, you should give it up. Feng Yuhang said, the forbidden area of the inner courtyard. It is said that many people have died recently. That's right. Tuoba Han agreed. If possible, you should change it. Sima Yue sighed and said, if I could change it, would I still be interested in it? Don't you all want this? If you get it, can you give me a little? I can give you a reward. My life was saved by you. What reward are you talking about? If possible, I want to give you a little, but what? The last time we entered the forbidden area, we didn't find the eye of the earth at all. Chapter 600. The eye of the earth wasn't in the academy's forbidden area. Sima Yue's heart jumped. Are you sure he's not here? We are sure. Tuoba Han said. The last time we went there, we almost lost our lives. But we also saw the situation inside the forbidden grounds clearly. We really didn't see the earth's eye. Therefore, we guessed that the eye of the earth is no longer in the forbidden area. Could it be that he's no longer in the academy? Sima Yue said worriedly. Could it be that there are too many people fighting for the Earth's eye recently, so the Academy moved it to another location? Or have they moved to a place outside the Academy? No, the Earth's eye is still in the inner courtyard. Tuobahan said with certainty. How can you be sure? Because the eye of the Earth emits a fragrance. Although it's very faint, I can still smell it. Feng Yuhang said. I've been in the Academy for so many years, so I'm very familiar with this smell. If I'm not around, the fragrance will dissipate. Fragrance. The eye of the Earth is very mysterious. Just by smelling that fragrance, my cultivation speed will increase. Feng Yuhang said. This is also the reason why many people are unwilling to leave when they are old enough to do so. There's such a wonderful thing. Sima Yue felt that this was very novel. Smelling the fragrance could increase one's cultivation speed. This was too miraculous. Of course. Do you think that the Earth's eye can only be used as medicine? Tuobahan knew that he had guessed correctly when he saw Sima Yue's expression. Since there's a fragrance, can't we just follow the source of the fragrance? Sima Yue said. You can't find it. Feng Yuhang said. That fragrance will appear every night at midnight, and will last until noon the next day. No matter where he was in the inner yard, the smell was the same. You have no way of finding the direction of that thing. Sima Yue fell silent. She lowered her head, and looked at the blue and white porcelain teacup. Finally, she made a decision in her heart. There's still a year before the inner court selection begins. With your talent, it won't be a problem for you to enter the inner court. However, you have to think carefully about which academy you intend to enter. Among them, the best and most suitable for you are alchemy and array formation. Tuobahan said. Let's talk about this later. Sima Yue said. Let's see which one I want to learn more. There was still a year's time left. She had to find other ways to gather the herbs and improve her cultivation in this 1 year's time. However, now that he had a goal, he was even more motivated. A few days later, the outer sex competition began. She went to watch Sima Yulin's array competition, Fatty Chu's armament competition, as well as Ouyang Fei and Bei Gong Tang's alchemy competition. After that, she went to watch her brother's competition. In the end, she realized that there were really many talents in the sect. Furthermore, only 10 to 20% of the talents were chosen to enter the inner sect. This was a little difficult. Fortunately, she saw that everyone's strength wasn't low, so it shouldn't be a problem for them to enter the inner courtyard. In the following days, she still frequently went to the library to borrow books, but she was not as anxious as before. Instead, she put more energy into refining pills. She had been able to refine Tier 6 pills for a long time, but because of the limitations of her strength, she had not been able to advance to Tier 7. Now that she had the strength, it was time for her to become a Tier 7 alchemist. She spent almost the entire day in Wu Lingyu's courtyard, entering the spirit pagoda to practice alchemy. When she was tired, she would flip through the medical books to find other ways to solve Shiman Feng's problem. However, this method was not so easy to find. She spent a year and still couldn't find it. However, this confirmed the feasibility of Gulang's method. However, her alchemy rank had really advanced to Tier 7, and she had become a Tier 7 alchemist. A Tier 7 alchemist who was not even 30 years old. If news of this talent were to spread, the entire continent would probably tremble. Even if the people in the inner regions knew, they would be impatient to poach her. Apart from alchemy, her strength had also advanced, becoming a divine king. She was only one step away from divine overlord. A year passed quickly. The heavenly sect's outer courtyard students were very excited, because the decennial selection was about to begin. If they could enter the inner sect to study, they would get more cultivation resources. Sima Yue did not enter the spirit pagoda these few days, so she returned to her dorm to discuss alchemy and arrays with Bei Gong Tang and the others. Yue, you haven't been here recently. We have something we haven't told you. Bei Gong Tang said. Little Two has already entered the inner sect. Little Two has already entered? Sima Yue was a little surprised. The vice principal has completely activated the blood in his body. For someone like him, there is no time limit. He can enter the inner sect to study at any time. Wei Ziqi explained. That's good. The inner sect is safer than the outer sect. In the future, if his clan knows of his existence, they will have to think twice before touching him. Sima Yue said. Oh right, 2 days ago, the people from Xianyuan Pavilion said that we should go there when we have time. Fatty Chu said. There should be news about the ingredients you want. Wei Ziqi guessed. I'll go take a look now. Do you want to come along? Or do you want to continue studying the things in your hands? Sima Yue stood up and asked. We can't finish studying these things in a short period of time. The closer it is to the selection, the more relaxed we have to be. Fatty Chu said with a smile. We can still go to Memory Restaurant to eat after we go. In the past 2 years, they had been worried about Yue in the first year. In the second year, everyone was busy and had not had a good meal in a long time. The few of them went to Xianyuan Pavilion first. Bei Gong Tang and the rest casually looked at the things downstairs. If they saw something they wanted to buy, they would take it down and prepare to settle the bill. Sima Yue followed the shop assistant upstairs and went to see the manager. Young Master Yue, you're finally here. When the manager saw Sima Yue enter, he stood up and said, If you didn't come, I would have gone to the academy to look for you. Sima Yue saw that the manager was so anxious and asked, Is there news about the 2 ingredients I want? This year, Xianyuan Pavilion had prepared the other ingredients. Only the amber tears and black sea cucumber were left. There is news about the black sea cucumber, the manager said. But the other party said that they want to meet you personally to see what price you can offer. Also, we have this. The manager took out a box and handed it to her. Sima Yue opened the box and saw a golden amber tear lying inside. This is the amber tears? Looking at the golden lake that was like an eye, she excitedly bit her lower lip. Where did you find this? It was sent by Pavilion Head Song. He said that your Aunt Feng got the news and asked someone to find it for you. The manager said. Aunt Feng. Sima Yue did not expect to hear Feng Ruyan's name at this time. She did not expect that she would find such a rare item for her. You're tuning in to the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.